Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a long delayed episode of Top 5. It's good to be back, both delayed in how long it's been since we've had an episode and delayed in our start times. We normally start about an hour ago. Jason was busy with real life stuff, and so I pushed the time back a little bit. And we have a guest lined up for tonight, and he said, yeah, pushing it back would be great. And I haven't heard from him. So I was like, I'm not going to go live by myself. And then Jason made it here on time. So things were a little out of whack, but it's good to be back. Good to have you back, Jason. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. It's been a long time being back on here. Last one that we had, I was sick, unfortunately. One of the few.
You missed the last one we had, and that was already 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. I gave my top 5 in the chat because I was not doing too well that day. So missed puzzle games, unfortunately. Did watch a little bit of it until I fell asleep watching, unfortunately, because again, being on the flu meds and everything like that. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been here, and it's glad to be kind of back in the office. It's been a while since I've been in the office with a lot of stuff going on around here. So
Yeah, so the last one you would have been on would have been in January for Top 5 2025 games. I totally forgot about that because the last one we had was puzzle games. That was on February 3rd. So we had one scheduled for February 17th. It was Valentine's Day themed, but it kind of fell apart. So we just scrapped that one. And then 2 weeks ago, I was out of town. So we didn't do one then either. So we're back. And tonight we're doing top 5 Wii games. And for the time being, it's just going to be the two of us, which we've only done that once before, I think, for our top the highlights of 2024 at the beginning of last year. I think was the only time we did it, just do us. But the link is out there to our guest, so he is welcome to join us whenever he is available. I'm pretty sure I know why. And if he hops in, if it is why I think it is, I'm going to give him a hard time about it. But either way, we're just going to go just the two of us for now and give him some time to join us. But so tonight we are doing a top 5 Nintendo Wii games. And the reason why is I tossed this idea to Jason. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Because we planned basically all of January and February, like at the end of December. So we had like the first 2 months of the year, like or 3 months of the year. I think that's right. We scheduled January, February, and March because normally we schedule them like, we typically do 2 a month, and we schedule them right at the end of the previous month. So we're only like one month out, but we scheduled the first 3 months all right up front. I suggested this one for tonight because on Thursday, 2 days from now, March 19th, Wii is getting a retro achievement support finally, so I'm going to be able to finally play some Wii games for retro achievements. GameCube launched almost 2 years ago in June or July. I forget which month. I think it was June of 2024. And finally, we're getting the launch of Wii, so I'm looking forward to playing some Wii games for some retro achievements. I've got a bunch of games queued up, ready to go. I'm playing some other games that are prequels to those games, getting prepared. So I was like, hey, Wii is getting retro achievement support on March 19th. We're going to be doing a top 5 on March 17th. What do you think about doing Wii games? He's like, yeah, let's do it. So that's why we're doing Wii games tonight in honor of retro achievement support, adding Wii finally on Thursday. And I'm mentally I'm ready, but I still have a little bit more to do because a couple games that I want to get through before it launches, or at least before I play the sequel to these games on Wii here very soon. But before we do, I have 2 questions to start us off. One is the usual of like, how difficult was this list for you? And then 2, any fun Wii stories you may have or memories or anything.
So for me, this was probably one of the harder top 5s, only because as me in systems and everything like that, like I can be like this on all systems. Wii was one of those like dark cloud systems that like I only had because of the family had it and all that kind of stuff. And I was on the older side too, and I was not a big fan of the motion controls and all that kind of stuff. So that also leads into the fun thing. The reason why I got a Wii is because my mom being a cook and chef, a lot of stuff like that, she was working as like a dietary manager at a nursing home, and they had a lot of like bowling leagues and stuff like that. So we had to have a Wii she had to have a Wii for them to have it. And then it also came over to the house as well. So like, it was one of those, like, we got it because they had it and we had to have it because they had it and all that stuff. So it was kind of a weird way that we got one, but it became a family thing. And yeah, it was very interesting.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, for me, this was actually an easier list, but that's because looking back on it, I was going through the game list of Wii games that I played, and there's not a lot of like high quality Wii games that I ended up playing. Now, I didn't really play because the Wii was like notorious for having a crap load of shovelware. I didn't play almost. I probably played a little bit of the shovelware, but not much. It's just a number of the games I played on Wii were they weren't shovelware. They were just not great. Or I just wasn't a huge fan of it. It had nothing to do with the motion controls. I like the motion controls. When we did top 5 controllers, the Wiimote was in my top 5 controllers. So I love the Wii. One of the stories that made me think of what, asking about if you have any fun Wii stories is because Wii is one of only 2 consoles I ever got on launch day. I would have had 4, that being the Xbox 360 and the Series X. Those ones I almost did, but they were both because 360, I didn't pre-order it and I couldn't find it. Otherwise, I would have had it if it was available in stores. I would have gotten it on launch, but I couldn't find it for about 3 months. The Series X, I actually had it pre-ordered, and Microsoft screwed it up, and they canceled my order the day the console launched. So I ended up not getting it on launch, and I had to wait like 6 months till I found one. So those two I should have had on launch, but I did not. But so the only 2 that I did get on launch day, 1 was GameCube, 2 was Wii. I went to the midnight launch for Wii, and I got a couple games. And then I also got sold on a couple games. I went to a GameStop, and I'm not going to mention which games I got for the Wii because those are going to be on the list. But some of the game, I think there were a couple other games that I bought. The guy that was worked there suggested, he's like, "Hey, try this out, and I got like two more games or so. One that is not on my list, but I will be playing it for retro achievements, and I never actually beat it back in the day. Was Trauma Center Second Opinion. That was my introduction to Atlas. I had never heard of Atlas before. And then later on, once I discovered the franchise, not that I played it, but I've heard about the franchise because it's gotten really popular, the Persona franchise, and knowing that was from Atlas, I'm like, oh, hey, I know Atlas from Trauma Center. But that was another one that I picked up on launch, and it was a decent game. It's just, it didn't really like hook me. But there were a couple other games that I did play that I was not huge fans of that I wouldn't call shovelware. So obviously these games are not going to be on my list tonight. But one that I just recently replayed on Metroidvania Monday, and that was Metroid Other M. It's a bad Metroid game, but I wouldn't say it's a bad game. I played it when it first came out, not like on launch, but I GameFly'd it back in the day. And I was like, it wasn't too bad because I was hearing a lot of negativity about it. And then I was like, I didn't really mind it that bad. But then just replaying it again last year for Metroidvania Monday, I hated that game.
Yeah, it's okay to hate.
But I am going to be playing it again very soon here for retro achievements, despite my hatred for it, because it is Metroid and it's my second favorite franchise. And another one that's not on my. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was like, even if like, because like I don't want like again achievements, whatever. I like again, your Metroid to me is Resident Evil. Other M is my Resident Evil 6. I will never finish Resident Evil 6 because I hate the game so much. I don't care about anything. You can't tell me whatever.
I finished it both originally when I played it and when I did it on stream, but I really did not want to.
Yeah, I will never go back to it because I hate it so much. But like, I don't care about any achievements for anything like that. I'm just like, nope, it exists. Sure.
That is a good analogy because Resident Evil, you love that franchise so much. But the thing that pains me so much about Other M is you could make just a couple of slight little tweaks and it would make it such a drastically better game. It's just the state it's in, it's not good. I've heard that there's a couple of I guess you could say ROM hacks or rebuilds. I don't know exactly what the details are, but I've heard that there's some alterations to Other M that make it a much better game. I'm hoping that those are ROM hacks. If they're a ROM hack, then maybe we'll get retro achievements for that as well, because there are plenty of ROM hacks out there that have retro achievements. So I hope that gets a ROM hack retro achievement set, so then I can play it again in the better version. I can compare the original versus the enhanced edition and see how much better it is. But another game that is by no means a bad game, I was not a huge fan of it, so obviously it's not going to be on my list tonight, but is Zelda Skyward Sword. Similar. I've heard that the HD version, which I've not played the HD version, just like Wind Waker, I was not a huge fan of Wind Waker, and it also has an HD version. In both of those games' cases, from what I hear, because I haven't played either of those HD versions, but from what I hear, the HD version of both of those games addresses all of my issues with both of those games. So it'd be nice if we got some sort of ROM hack of Skyward Sword that backports a lot of those fixes into the original version. Maybe we could get retro achievement sets for that. But I will be playing Skyward Sword again for retro achievements here soon. I'm actually looking forward to it because, like Wind Waker, I only played it the one time when it came out, and I haven't played it since. So I am actually looking forward to playing it again. It's just I wasn't a huge fan of it. So that's kind of the background on the Wii for me. And so before we get on into it, I see a couple people in chat. See and Raw over on the Twitch side saying moo. Good to see you, Ra. As always, you've been very consistent. I've seen you hopping in pretty much all of my streams lately. So good evening to you. And Dude is over on Rumble saying howdy. And he messaged me right before we went live because you're almost 30 minutes late. Is this thing happening? I was like, we're just trying to figure out whether we're actually going to do it tonight or not, whether just the two of us or and it's like, we'll go ahead and do it. And maybe our guest will show up at some point. So and I did ask Dude if he wanted to be on the panel. He's like, I didn't really play that many Wii games. I was like, fair enough. I asked it.
He's right with me.
Who are big gamers, or a couple of people who are really big Nintendo people. I'm like, hey, would you want to be on top 5 Wii games? And they're all like, I didn't play almost any Wii. And I was like, why is this such the black sheep of the family, even though it's sold like crazy?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like when the Wii came out, I was playing like a console, like a PlayStation or an Xbox, and then I had my DS. And the DS I felt to me was like, oh, cool, I have my Nintendo system right here, because a lot of the games were all on there, and I'm like, this is great. So I was more on the handheld Nintendo train and console, everything else.
I'd have to go back and look at the list of DS games I played, because even though I have a DS and I have my Wii, you can't see, but my Wii is literally right behind my Super Nintendo there, and it's hooked up to the TV on the other side of this wall, so I could boot it up and play it. But both consoles, I didn't actually play a large variety of games for either one of them. So my list when I was actually making it, although it was relatively easy, my top 3, those were piece of cake. It was my bottom. My number 4 and 5, I was like, I actually have to go and look through some of the games I played, and some of them I had forgotten because I only rented them, but I actually really enjoyed them. So I had to figure out it wasn't difficult to scale down for this one where I had too many to pick from. It was like, I need to fill these spaces. What the heck did I also really enjoy on this console? So so Dude says, I mainly didn't play Wii for 2 reasons. No Chivos, totally understand that. And it was in the living room, so limited play time to play it anyways. Oh, he did mention that when I asked him. He said something about the living room. I'm like, isn't that where the console's supposed to go anyways? But that would mean the TV that everyone in the family uses. Yeah. And so you'd have to get the TV to yourself, and that might be difficult. So I did not connect those 2 dots until just now.
And
that makes sense.
For Dude, that's why I didn't play a lot of the Wii as well. And again, the game's one reason, but it was in the living room. So my systems were always in my room, and when this was in there, it's you had to make time to do it, or if they're gone in your home or something like that, then cool, I could play certain some of these games. But most of it was it was in there the whole time. I didn't play very many games in the living room. It was more in my room or somewhere else.
Okay, I was fortunate enough by the time because the Wii launched in 2007. I want to say.
Yes.
Wait, is that right?
No, it was later.
No,
Isn't
2006. Because I'm pretty sure it launched like almost a year after 360, and the 360 launched in November of 2005. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2006.
Yeah, November 19th, late 2006.
Okay, that's what I thought. So 2006. By that time, I actually had a TV in my room, and so I was able to play it whenever I wanted to. So I didn't have that problem, but I totally understand. So, and until I got DLC. For Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6 was the only Resident Evil game I got the full completion on.
I'm sorry.
I've never actually beaten a Resident Evil game. There is one that I've played that I might be talking about tonight at some point. But Resident Evil 6 is, even though it's the one that people like, from what I hear, everyone hates, like you said, you hate it. That's probably the one that's the most enticing to me because it's the most like action oriented, like not scary of the whole franchise, which is, much more my speed.
6 is awful.
So October Mike said, "What's up, October Mike? Good to see you. I am the only one here." Oh, on YouTube side, yes, it looks like you are. Well, glad to see you guys.
Yeah.
Again, this topic caught my interest. Well, glad to hear it. So, all right. Well, with that, hold on. Let me get the there it is. Timestamp. So, with that, we will go ahead and get on into our number 5s. So, Jason, as usual, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
So, I'm just gonna get out of the way right away because I was making this list and I'm like, I have to have it on here somewhere, and I figured 5 is the best place to put it because, again, it came with the system. It actually was kind of fun. There was a lot to do with it, especially when you were just playing with friends and everything like that. Again, I kind of mentioned it earlier about why it was in everybody's living room. And my number 5 is Wii Sports. Like that.
That's hilarious because that's my number 5 as well.
Yeah, it has to be. It's like, it's one of the greatest tech demos ever. There's just no way to put it. Like, you had so much to do, and it showed you this is what it is. This is our goals. Like, we have these Miis that you make. They're in these games. This is what this thing does. You could do other things as well, but like, this is your demo for what this system is, what we're going to try to do. So yeah, Wii Sports, easy number 5, like super easy number 5.
Okay. So yeah, that is also my number 5. I just realized that I don't even think about this till we're live, but since this is a pre-digital console, I'm actually gonna go grab all mine real quick. So if you want to vamp it for just a minute, I'll be right back.
I mean, Wii Sports, like, the main reason again on it, it was the first game obviously to get it. Like, it literally made like I said, I was talking about the nursing home. They had a bowling league on nights for the residents to come and play, just because obviously they can't get out and everything like that. And like, it's insane that something like that got families together, families up playing video games when there was other games that did that, and just bonded over that again. It was like how Nintendo did it back when they first came out. It's like, hey, we're an entertainment console that we're just trying to do things. And then the Wii just sparks that same imagination with sports, of all things. A lot of people that are sports fans are not sport fans, but like, everybody remembers bowling. Everybody remembers doing the 100-pin strike challenge. Everybody remembers, I got it on the rail and hit the button.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like, there's so many crazy things. And then the golf was fun. Baseball, like, there was just, it was great.
So I went to go grab it because it was in the other room, but I got my copy right here, Wii Sports. Still got the disc right there. But yes, I never had the retirement home experience, but I do know that it was popular in retirement homes for the bowling and stuff. But yeah, so I've said this on a few streams that everyone in my family is technologically retarded. So I don't have any gamers in my family at all. Even my cousins who are my age, nobody's not that they're technologically dumb. It's just they're not gamers. I'm legitimately the only gamer in my entire family on both sides. So I never really had anybody to play with. So whenever people are like, yeah, me and my dad or my grandpa even used to play together, I'm like, I'm super jealous of that because I always wanted to have, a family member to play games with. I tried to play with my mom and my dad a couple times and they were terrible. So I'm like, it's just better if I play on my own. Wii Sports is the one and only time in my entire life the entire family got around and played a game together, and it was so much fun. That is literally like a core memory. At Christmas time, I brought my Wii, and people who have never touched a controller before in their life were able to play a game, and we were all able to play and have a really good time. So a lot of good memories with Wii Sports. I never played Wii Sports Resort. I think that one actually required the Wii Motion Plus, which I did. Have.
It just, it added function a little more. Like, I would technically put that over Wii Sports in a way, but like Wii Sports is the first, it's the original, but like Resort is great as well. It just adds a little more.
Yeah, so I never actually got the little Wii Motion Plus attachment, but when I got, because I got Skyward Sword on launch in the special edition, and it came with this Skyward Sword Wiimote, which has Wii Motion Plus built in. So that's the only Wii Motion Plus I have is right here on this one. But yeah, so I've had a lot of fun playing the boxing, the bowling, the tennis, the golf, the baseball, everything with family members who had never played before in their life, and we just had a blast. And I brought it down for Christmas the following year, and the same thing. So a lot of fun playing this game with my family who have never played video games before in their life. We were all able to bond over it, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember, just playing it in my room. Oh, look at that. We have a guest joining us, which I'll get to in just a moment. But as I said, I had a TV in my room, and so I was able to play this. And one day I was playing the baseball, the home run derby game for like a couple hours straight. And I was just knocking homer after homer after homer. The next day, my arm was freaking sore.
So the best way to do the home run was just like snapping the wrist?
I was not doing it that way. I was doing it like legit.
Oh, yeah. If you just went like this, it would just hit it because the snap of the wrist is all it was. That
makes a lot more sense. So, all right. Well, we have our guest finally joining us nearly an hour later. Well, let's see what he has to say. What's up, Lowest Expectations? How's it going?
Well, hi.
Thank you for joining us. I do have to ask, what's your excuse?
I just had the worst sleep imaginable.
Oh, no.
So I even set an alarm, and then I slept straight through it.
Okay, so I was right. I had a feeling that was the case.
That's it.
Well, either way, glad that you're here. I figured you'd show up eventually. That was my guess, was that you probably overslept. So I'm glad that you're here, and we're still in our number 5. So you haven't really missed much, other than we were talking about how difficult this list was for us, and just any general Wii memories you had. Like I was talking about when I went to the launch party to get it. So if you want to go ahead and chime in with any Wii stories you may have, and how difficult this list was for you, I'd be interested to hear it.
Well, I'll probably just drop a bomb here. The Wii is actually my least favorite Nintendo console.
Okay, that's
but I still like it.
Okay, so. I get it. I really like the Wii, even though after making this list, I was like, there wasn't really that many Wii games that I really liked, but I do like the Wii. So
maybe I'm one of the weird ones, but I actually liked the Wii U way more than the Wii.
Okay, and I've never played a Wii U before.
I'm with you on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's an underrated console, I think.
And that's funny because the Wii sold like hotcakes, and it's like, there wasn't that many like super high quality titles for it. But then the Wii U didn't sell, and it sounds like Wii U had a lot of good games on it.
Yeah, it did.
So,
so also I never got a Wii U like until after the Wii U, or I never got a Wii until after the Wii U had already come out.
Okay.
So it was like 2012 or 2013 when I got it. And my main motivation for getting it was actually Skyward Sword, which is not on my list.
That was one of the things I was talking about where so for me it was a pretty easy list to make, and normally it's tough to narrow it down to 5. This one I actually had like 3 that were super easy, and the numbers 4 and 5 I actually had to find games to fill those slots. And I was just saying, like, I didn't play a lot of the shovelware, but there were some games on Wii that were, good games. I just didn't click with them all that much, and Skyward Sword was one of them. So Skyward Sword is also not on my list, but I am going to be playing it again here soon because you probably missed it, but the reason why we did Wii games tonight is because this Thursday is when Wii gets retro achievement support. So I thought it'd be good to have top 5 Wii games right before that happens. So I will be playing Skyward Sword again here in the near future for the first time since it launched, essentially. So it'll almost be like a first playthrough because I only vaguely remember much of it, other than I didn't dislike it. I just wasn't a huge fan of it. So, but yeah, we were just both of our number 5s was Wii Sports. So we were just talking about Wii Sports. So do you have any thoughts on Wii Sports?
I have very little experience with Wii Sports.
Okay. So
it's not on my, it's not even in my honorable mentions.
Okay. So, but yeah, because Jason has a background in actual real life bowling. How did you have a lot of fun playing the Wii bowling?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the fun things. Is I mean, it didn't take me long to get a 300 in the game because there's ways to cheat around it. But I mean, the idea of like having to turn the wrist to see the ball hook or stuff like that, throwing backwards balls by reversing, like it did a good job on that aspect of it. But I mean, we all did the thing where we just held the thing in the air and then just kind of dropped it, and it just kind of went where it needed to go. So there was like kind of cheats around it. And then, I mean, to this day, when a ball in like an actual alley gets dropped or anything like that, a lot of the people that played Wii kind of do if they're standing, they'll do the jump turn kind of thing, just like because they knew that action from Wii Sports and everything. So like, yeah, they did a pretty fun job.
But yeah, I had forgotten about that 100 pin one where
100 pin challenge was so good. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. I played a crap load of that, and I just totally forgot it even existed until you mentioned it.
That was my favorite.
So that was a lot of fun. So we got Rocker Dude. Good evening, Rocker Dude. Good to see you again. And I did not finish Mini Shoot last night, but I'm very close, so I'll probably finish that next Monday. But good to see you. He says Wii Sports is goated. Awesome. Glad you enjoyed it as well. Let's see here, dude said Summoning Salt did a great video on Summoning Salt. Must be a YouTuber or something. Never heard of him, but did a great video on speed running Wii Sports Golf.
Yeah, Summoning Salt's really good on doing like mini documentaries on speed runs.
So, and then dude says Skyward Sword does have some good dungeons. A great Zelda, who is top tier waifu, and Groose. Can't really argue with that. And I've heard. I didn't really pay attention to it much back in those days because, like I said, I was never really paid much attention to video game music until I started my YouTube channel. But I've heard people say that Twilight Princess has a really good soundtrack. So when I play through it again, I'm going to be paying attention to the music.
It does.
I'm talking about Skyward Sword, not Twilight Princess. But
Skyward Sword does too.
Okay.
They both have great soundtracks.
I'm going to be playing them both, so I will pay attention to the music more than I did, back in the day. Dude also says, too bad the motion controls never worked for me, and is it Fi or Fee? I'm going to go with Fi. But Fi was everything wrong with Navi turned to 11. That's one of my biggest criticisms with Skyward Sword is freaking Fi is way more annoying than Navi. So, exactly. So, all right. Well, that is both Jason and I's number 5, Wii Sports. So, what about you, Lois? What is your number 5?
So, my numbers 4 through like number 7 are so close to each other. It was super difficult to pick.
Okay.
I literally changed this one at like the last minute before I went to bed. So, number 5 is going to be Pikmin 2.
I thought that was a GameCube game. I mean, I know the original one was. Oh, it was a cross release?
Yeah. So it came out of the GameCube first, and then on the Wii second. And the Wii version is different because it feels like it plays completely different. And I think it's better for it on the Wii. because if you've ever played it on the GameCube, you run around with your Pikmin and you can like aim and throw them with the C stick. On the
Okay.
Wii, you use the pointer
Okay.
instead, and it's so much better that way. I wouldn't want to play it any other way after that.
Nice. So one of those motion control games where the controls make it way superior.
Oh yeah.
I've got one of those on my list tonight to talk about. Although that is on my honorable mentions, but I'll mention that when we get to it. So I was just looking this up. So it looks like kind of like Smash Brothers, where like every game in the franchise is on a different console. Essentially, you got Pikmin 1 on GameCube, Pikmin 2 on Wii, Pikmin 3 on Wii U, and then Pikmin 4 was on Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that. And I'm also looking at Pikmin on Retro Achievements, and Pikmin 2 both have a bunch of ROM hack achievement sets as well. So
I believe Pikmin 1 was also ported to Wii.
It was.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So I haven't played that version of the first one, but it probably has like the same controls and everything. So it's probably better on that too.
Pikmin 1 and 2 were on Wii. Yes, you are right. And let's see here. While we're talking about it, it looks like. Oh no, I was going to say it looks like Pikmin 1 on Wii is getting an achievement set, but it doesn't look like anyone's currently working on it. Pikmin 2 is not either, at least not yet. But they probably will, given how popular the Pikmin games are. So.
I don't have the Wii version on this website that I'm showing here, but yeah.
Oh, is that IGDB?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like that page looks familiar. So, my only experience with Pikmin is Olimar from Smash Brothers. I've never played any of the Pikmin games, but I know they are popular. So,
they're fun little games. I would imagine that if you were trying to go for the like retro achievements for them, it would probably be a real pain though.
Oh yeah,
because there's some insane ways that people play those games.
Oh yeah, on the Wii, the box art of the Wii version of Pikmin, it says new play controls. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, Pikmin. So you probably played Pikmin 1 on GameCube and then Pikmin 2 on Wii. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like the controls with the Wii are way better. Overall, as a game, do you prefer Pikmin 1 or Pikmin 2 controls notwithstanding?
2 by a long shot.
Okay.
And the reason for that is just like there's so much more content in 2 than there is in 1.
Okay.
Like there's this huge like dungeon system that the game has that like makes the game way more challenging, and there's like these really like terrifying bosses in there that are way more difficult than anything in the first game. So like in my opinion, the first game is really, really easy. And the second game just like turned everything up to 11 basically.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Like in terms of like content, challenge, stuff to do.
And so you would
I don't remember about like the other game modes or anything, but
so between the Wii and the GameCube versions, you would definitely recommend the Wii versions over the GameCube versions?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like the GameCube versions are still good, obviously, but I would just prefer it with the motion controls because it makes everything
more precise,
way more accurate, precise, yeah, and more fun in my opinion. So
okay, cool.
I am not a motion controls hater. That's not why the Wii is my least favorite Nintendo console.
Yeah. Least. I don't know what I would probably have to say. Even though it's similar for me, because I have no problem with motion controls. Said earlier on the intro that when we did top 5 controllers, the Wiimote was in my top 5. I love the Wiimote and I love the motion controls.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't actually thought about what's my least favorite Nintendo console. Obviously, it has to be ones that I've actually played a significant amount of, which would be Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii, and Switch. I would probably have to say Wii too, but just because the amount of high quality games is lower than basically all those other consoles. So, but yeah,
that's more or less it. Obviously, there's a lot of first party Nintendo stuff on the Wii that people love to death, and I find it like really, really overrated.
Okay.
But that's a topic for another time.
All right. So Pikmin 2. Okay. Have you played all 4 Pikmin?
I've not played the 4th one yet.
Okay. I've
Also,
heard that
the
one's really
third
good.
one, the third one's really interesting on the Wii U because you can actually use a Wiimote to play it. And
I was just going to ask that, but you answered it before I could ask it.
oh yeah, you can use a Wiimote to play it and the gamepad at the same time. So you can use like the gamepad for like the map and I don't remember what else. It's been a while since I played it, but I remember using the Wiimote and the gamepad both at the same time, and it was even better way to play it than Pikmin 2 was.
Interesting. So, like, do you set up the tablet like on a stand, or do you hold it in one hand and have your Wiimote in the other?
Yes, the Wii U comes with a stand for the tablet controller.
Okay.
So you just set it on there, and then you're using the Wiimote at the same time.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Although, I still like Pikmin 2 more. It's just because the game itself is better.
Okay. Fair enough. So, all right. And dude says, let's see here. Still need to play Pikmin 2 set, but he did do the first one. We have yet to hit a game that's in the rollout. For what games are going to be available on launch. I thought Wii Sports was, but maybe I was mistaken. So, but I know for a fact that some of the games on my list are in the rollout window. So, we're only on our first one, so we got more to come. But yeah, as far as retro achievements go, which I know what you meant. And he says Pikmin 1 had get all ship parts in 12 days. Oh, I remember you telling me about that one. We talked about that one when I think on Achievement Chasers when you did that one, you were talking about that achievement. So I do remember that now. Both sets also have Chivos tied to their challenge modes. Oh, we're talking about Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 on GameCube. So, yeah, I know nothing about the game other than what little bit I've played of Olimar in Smash Bros, which I'm not a huge fan of Olimar, so I've barely ever played him. But I do know he's from Pikmin. So, all right. Well, I guess any other thoughts on Wii Sports or Pikmin? All right. Then with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our number 4s. Lowest.
Oh yeah, those achievements that dude's talking about. Screw that. I will never do that.
You get the achievements for the challenge modes. They're pretty difficult.
No Pikmin death challenge. The Pikmin have like a mind of their own. That's gonna be like
beating without
impossible.
Any of your Pikmin dying. That sounds insane.
No, thank you. Especially if you're going down the dungeon zones, because there's the last one has like 100 floors from what I remember. So that's a lot of not dying.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Sounds nearly impossible.
So. All right. Lois, do you want to kick off our number 4s?
Sure. I guess this one's kind of coming off a similar thing because it's one of those that is better on the Wii than it is on the GameCube, in my opinion.
Okay.
But this one's only on the Wii. It was only the previous 2 games that came out on the GameCube. And that's Metroid Prime 3.
Oh.
Metroid Prime 3 is my second favorite Metroid Prime game.
Behind the first one, I assume?
The first one, yeah.
Okay. So you like 3 more than 2?
Yeah. But I've only played 2 once back when it came out, and that was it.
Okay.
I never owned it. I borrowed it from a friend.
That's right. I think I remember you mentioning that before.
Yeah.
So
I'd have to go back and try them both to get an updated opinion, but as of now, 3 is my second favorite one.
Okay. And what did you like about Prime 3?
The motion controls. I thought it made the game way more fun. And also, I've heard a lot of people complain about like the corruption mechanic. I actually like that because it felt like I was in danger more, whereas in the first 2 games, it didn't really feel like that very much. Because I don't know, I don't consider 1 or even 2 very difficult.
Yeah, I've said that of the Prime games, I think 3 is the hardest, but that's because in Prime 1 and 2, there's only normal and hard, and I didn't think hard mode was really that difficult. on either of them. Prime 3 has 3 difficulties. You have normal, hard, and I think like hyper mode. And hyper mode was out of the the 3 Prime games, at the time. Hyper mode, the only thing I don't believe I ever beat the game on hyper mode. I got to the final boss and I just could not beat the final boss on hyper mode, no matter how many attempts I made. So by that, the fact that I don't think I ever beat it on the hardest difficulty, I would agree that Prime 3 was the hardest of them. And I wouldn't say I have a problem with the hyper mode, because I do like being able to go in the hyper mode and be able to almost instant win everything. The biggest issue I have is it more so the side effect of how the game is designed, because a lot of the late game enemies are designed to be defeated with hyper mode, and if you don't, they're just crazy bullet sponges. So that's really my only issue with hyper mode, is how strong they make a lot of the enemies later in the game, because they want you to use hyper mode to beat them. So just a little bit of a nitpick, but yeah, I really like Prime 3, and it's I will, spoiler alert, given that Metroid is my second favorite franchise, Prime 3 is on my list somewhere tonight for my top 5. So I know that's going to be a huge shock to everyone. But yeah, I like Prime 3 as well.
But like I said, I've also only played this game once. It was probably back in like 2013-ish.
Okay, so it's been a long time since you played Prime 2 or 3.
It's been a long time since I've played all of these games on this list.
Okay.
So a lot of this is going off of memory, and I'm probably going to get a lot of stuff wrong. So
that's okay. My number 4, I rented and I have not played it since. But all the rest of the ones I have owned and I've played, maybe not in a while, but some of them, like Prime 3, I just played it on stream last fall, because I was going through almost the entire Metroid franchise on stream. So I just recently played Prime 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But yeah, as we said on our Prime 4 roundtable, my ranking is Primes 1 and 2 are almost even. Prime Remastered is at the top because of the modern controls, and then Prime 3 is just a little bit below it, because I do really like it, but there are some things that I don't like as much as 1 and 2, and then Prime 4 is a ways down here. So
yeah,
but yeah, I have played them all fairly recently, so yeah, I'll probably talk about it a little bit more when we get to it on my list, since it is on my list, as I said. So okay. Prime.
A couple more things.
Yeah, I was just going to say, anything else you want to mention on Prime 3?
I think that I forget what it's called, but that Sky City zone is probably like
the Sky Fortress, I think.
I don't remember what it's called. It's the one with like the floating city in the cloud planet or whatever, or in the clouds of a planet. That is probably my favorite zone in the entire franchise.
That is a really cool biome, if you want to call it that.
That place is so damn cool.
Skytown. That's what it was.
Skytown. There
Skytown on the planet Elysia. That is I do really like that. That is cool that you're on this like floating city. That's definitely a cool, interesting setting. And then you don't drop the whole city, but you do drop a bomb from the city to blow up the shield, so you can get to the Leviathan seed on that planet. So yeah.
Yep.
All right. Any other things you want to mention on Prime 3?
Nope.
All right. Yeah, we got a new name in YouTube I've not seen before. Noah Barger. Welcome. Saying that game is very controversial. I'm assuming you're talking about Prime 3. Yeah, it's it kind of divisive. It's kind of polarizing for people. There's usually not many people who are like in the middle. It's usually like, I really like it or I really hate it. I do really like it. It's just, I don't like it as much as Prime 1 and 2, but I do really like it. So yeah, Skytown is way too linear, says dude. Understandable. That was probably one of the biggest complaints of Prime 3 is, it's too linear for a lot of people, compared to Primes 1 and 2. Which I get. I don't have an issue with that though, but I totally get it.
I don't think it would be as It's not as much of an issue as it is in Prime 4, because in Prime 4 is also really linear. But even though it's linear in Prime 3, it's still way more fun, from what I remember, at least.
So, all right.
Prime 4 has a lot of generic zones, and they're just not very interesting. Except for the Vault Forge was kind of cool looking, but it was also kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, Vault Forge was probably my favorite of the biomes in that game as well. Looked cool and had some dope music. But yeah, the linearity of Prime 4 was a disappointment given, but that's basically due to the way they designed the map. And it's funny because when they were talking about their inspiration for it was Hyrule Fields essentially, and it's funny because I'm currently in the middle of playing through Ocarina of Time again, and I'm probably I just got into Ganon's Tower a couple hours ago, so I'll probably finish it tonight. But playing through it and being in Hyrule Field, I'm like, yep, I totally see the inspiration for Prime 4 and where it comes from. Makes total sense. Not that I haven't played Ocarina of Time before; it's been a very long time since I played it last. But yeah, it's like that is not what I want in a Metroid game. Zelda, that's fine. Metroid, no thanks. So, all right. Well, I think since I kind of lightly alluded to my number 4, I think I'll go ahead and go next on my number 4. And this is the one game on my list I don't have a visual aid for because, as I mentioned, this was something I rented from GameFly back in the day, so I don't actually own this anymore. But I had a lot of. Oh, I should have gotten. I should have grabbed my my nunchuck, but my nunchuck I think is in the family room. I only have my Wiimote because it was on my shelf right here. But anyways, my number 4 is a racing game, and it's a Need for Speed game, and it was the sequel to what is my favorite Need for Speed game. I played that on 360, and that was Most Wanted. Great racing game. But the sequel was Need for Speed Carbon. I played Most Wanted, like I said, on 360. I played Carbon on Nintendo Wii. And the reason why I put this on my list is because Carbon on Wii had like 3 or possibly 4 different control options. I think you could play it like this if you wanted to. But I played it with the Wiimote and the nunchuck. And the thing that really made me love this game was the control scheme I went with was this, the Wiimote is your gas pedal. So you do this to go faster and you hold it up to go slower. And then not actually the joystick, but the actual nunchuck was your steering wheel. So you tilt it to turn right and you tilt it to turn left. And then the Z button was your brake. So using this as your gas and then using the nunchuck to steer was really cool. So I know it's really unorthodox, especially for a racing game, but I freaking loved it. I played the entire game that way, and I had a lot of fun with it. It does not, as far as I know, it is not in the Wii rollout, but I do want to get a copy of it. And if it ever gets retro achievements, which I would kind of be surprised if it didn't, because Need for Speed games are pretty popular. If it gets retro achievements, I definitely want to play it again in that same format because it was so cool. I was like, that makes perfect sense. So you wouldn't necessarily think about it right away, but having this be your gas pedal and then the nunchuck be your steering wheel, I'm like, that makes perfect sense. I just loved it. So I had a lot of fun with that. I still didn't like it as much as Most Wanted, but I did really, really, really enjoy the game and had a lot of fun with it. And I'm pretty sure no, I know that I beat it. I'm pretty sure I got like 100% and did everything in the game that there was possibly to do. But I would have to, I won't know until I get another copy and I throw it in my Wii and load up my save because I still have my saves. I still have the same memory card, but I just have no way to check right now to see what my progress was since I don't actually have the game. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Need for Speed Carbon playing in a very odd control style. But like I said, if they're done well, I really enjoy motion controls, and Need for Speed Carbon, in my opinion, did motion controls for a racing game very well, and I really enjoyed it. One of the, I don't know, one of the things about Need for Speed Carbon is it played very similar to Most Wanted, and I think they were probably built on the same engine, if I had to guess. Maybe not for the Wii version, but I think the 360 PS3 versions of Carbon and Most Wanted were built on the same. But one thing about Carbon was the entire game was at night. There was no daytime, which was I like in Most Wanted. I'm pretty sure that there was day and night. It's been a long time since I've played it, but Carbon was all at night, which was kind of cool, but I kind of missed the daytime racing as well. But there's plenty of light. It was never like too dark to see anything. But that was just something that I remember about the game. And I don't remember if that was in the like marketing. I think it was. But yeah, Carbon was just like the entire game took place at night. There was no day racing in that one. So, but yeah, Need for Speed Carbon was my number 4, and I basically forgot that I'd even played it because I was looking through the games that I owned, and I was like, I had GameFly at the time. What were some of the Wii games that I rented? And I was going through some of the Wii games I rented. I'm like, oh, that's right, Need for Speed Carbon. So I want to throw that one on the list because that was a lot of fun, and I hope that I have a retro achievement reason to play it again in the future. So, yeah. So, did either based on Jason's look, I'm assuming that he probably never played this version.
I mean, I played it on the PS2, but like as soon as you said like, "Hey, this is how you go," I'm like, my brain was taking a few seconds to like, okay.
Yeah, you looked like,
I'm
what
like,
is he talking about?
But yeah, I'm like I'm trying to just think how I would play that. I'm like, okay. I guess it's probably one of those ones where like if you do it, it will come to you naturally, but just like the idea of like, okay, I gotta go, and then I'm not turning with this, but I have to do this, and I'm like, oh man, I can understand going this way, but if I use the nunchuck analog, I'd be like, okay, that makes a little more sense. But no, it's like,
I think that was also one of the control options to use the joystick, but I used the motion.
You wanted everything, yeah, I got you.
So. Yeah, it's like, given your look, I'm assuming you probably didn't play this version.
Nope.
So, and dude says Need for Speed Nitro is in the Wii rollout, but Carbon is not, which I never played Nitro, so I don't know anything about that. On PS2, Carbon is on, Need for Speed Carbon on PS2 does have retro achievement set. So, thank you for letting me know about that. So, all right. Then, Jason, what is your number 4?
So my number 4 was kind of mentioned by Dude a little bit earlier. It is a versus game of some sort. It is Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
I've never even. I mean, I've heard of versus Capcom because they got a number of them like SNK and Marvel. I've never even heard of this one before.
So
you're the fighting guru, so
yeah. I never even knew Capcom came out with something after Marvel versus Capcom 3. And then I was in an arcade one day and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I know Tatsunoko is a huge Japanese like anime kind of fighter, like shows and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I didn't know anything about them, but I was like, oh, cool. The versus Capcom game, the Capcom characters is, pretty much what I would play. But I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And I'm like, why does this never come out to here, and why does this never come out like on a console? Because again, arcades are dying and everything like that. So I was like, this is just interesting. And then somebody's like, oh, no, it's on console. I was like, what are you talking about? I have all the consoles. I've never seen and heard anything of this. They're like, oh, it's on the Wii. I'm like, that's why.
So I'm sure you played it online versus people all the time, I bet, right?
No, yeah. So I'm like,
on the Wii.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that makes sense. They're like, not a lot of 2D fighters on the Wii that are like this in general. I'm like, that's an interesting choice that they would just have this on the Wii and that's it. But yeah, so I still have my copy that I played when I found out afterwards and everything like that. It's a great game. It's not one of the better versus games, but I mean, it is fun. It is a fun game just to like mess around with. And again, there's a bunch of characters and everything, but yeah.
Yeah, I love the tweet you just put out, Lois. That's great. And I basically, I was thinking about asking people when I sent out the message. I was thinking about basically phrasing it like that when I asked them if they wanted to come on. But okay,
you're welcome.
Tatsunoko, never heard of it before. Although from that, what we see there on Lois' screen, that looks like Morrigan, which is I thought she was an SNK character.
Morgan is a Capcom character.
He's Capcom. Okay.
Yeah, Darkstalkers.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a Capcom franchise. So, who is there anybody I might recognize from the Tatsunoko franchise? Who's like the biggest, like the Ryu or Ken of this franchise that I
the guy on Ryu's, or as we're looking at the screen on the left, but I can't remember his name because again, I played a lot of the Capcom characters. I played a little bit of them, but like Let's see.
Okay, that character does look somewhat familiar, but I might be
Yeah.
getting up with a similar looking franchise.
Oh man.
Oh, I started typing
Pac-Man?
Matthew, and the first thing that auto-filled on Google was versus Capcom.
Oh yeah. I mean, I assume a lot of people know this one, but again, they're huge over Japan, so that's why the game was made.
It's bigger in Japan. Are there any other games in this Tatsunoko franchise?
I don't know about games. I mean, it's more like, again, like it's anime stuff. So,
okay, all right. And dude says he does own this one. All right. Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
I think Tekkaman is like the guy that's there.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to ask is what's the control scheme for this? I'm assuming probably like the Pro controller or the flat one with the 2 joysticks on it. Was that
the regular classic, yeah.
So I would assume that you probably wouldn't play it with the Wiimote.
No.
That was a nunchuck.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there was and then it was weird because I was used to playing games on like arcade sticks, so it was like really weird going back to controller playing this game and then going to the arcade to play it on an arcade stick, like a civilized person would. So it was very
the Wii probably didn't have any arcade sticks, did it?
I think it did, but I never had one.
Okay, I bet that was a very niche market.
Yeah, I think it just had one, and it was like I remember thinking it was like white with baby blue buttons. I think. Yeah, they did. Okay. But yeah, it was a very cheap Hori stick that was way too much because again, it was like, hey, you only need it for this game, and we're gonna charge a lot because there's no other one you can get for it.
Bummer. So, dude says, I don't know any of the Tatsunoko characters, and I watch a bunch of anime. That's right, he does. So,
yeah.
But the Capcom roster was interesting, he says.
I don't know if it might be like the anime, or it might be like, I don't want to say like the Power Rangers, but it was a very, like, if you get a chance and look up the roster, you'd be like, yeah, I don't know any of these. And again, I didn't either, but I'm like, oh, Capcom characters, I know all of them. We're good.
So, all right. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab here. Let me switch back over to my notes. And yeah, all right. Yeah, never heard of it, so I can't really say anything on it.
Yeah. It's a very awkward, but like, yeah, I mean, I wish it came out for a lot of, all the systems, just so everybody had it. So like I said, it was very, very awkward for this kind of game just to be, I don't want to say set on the Wii to die, but just pretty much set on the Wii to die.
Okay. Oh, I heard my Discord notification. This dude posted a picture of the fight stick that you're talking about. But I don't have a way to show you. But I see it, dude. So thank you for that. All right. I think shoot, I was gonna say something and now I forgot what I was gonna say. So oh, that's what I was gonna ask. So I'm assuming this game, you said this game was on other platforms as well?
No.
It was only on Wii.
It was only on Wii.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
Yeah, that's why it was very.
If it was on other platforms, I was going to say, I assume you want to play it on the other platforms, but this was the only platform it existed on. Oh,
yes.
Third-party fighting game Wii exclusive. That is definitely an oddity.
Yep.
So, all right.
It looks like there's another version on here.
Oh, also Wii.
Oh, this one's also on the Wii. I was going to say, I thought maybe this game released in the arcade in Japan or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it released arcades everywhere. Obviously, mostly in Japan, but yeah, like usually when that happens, because arcades were dying at the time, they would get their money off of people, buying it on, at home, and this one just went to the Wii, and that was it.
You know what? Let's see here. I just thought. Here, I'll do it real quick.
I'd never even heard of this game until now.
Here we go. I was like, I got paint, so I'll just paste it into there. So
there you go.
Here's the arcade stick.
Yep. And then there's another one that's all white. That's all with the all blue buttons.
Oh,
without the image, like without the characters on there.
okay.
And as you can see, how you had to connect it was.
Oh, you had to connect it to the Wiimote. Oh, that is awful. But
Yeah,
I know that we had some other attachments where you wouldn't plug it into the console, you'd plug it into the Wiimote. Like that is so terrible.
And that's the reason why it's like, if I bought another fight stick, I'm only using it on the Wii. So I was like, I'm good.
Although that character in the bottom left that looks like a VR trooper, that's a cool looking character, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's that's Tekkaman.
Tekkaman, okay, that's a cool looking character. I like it. So, dude says Tatsunoko is more known for Speed Racer. Oh, is that Speed Racer? Is that the same franchise or owned by the same company or something?
Sure,
I know Speed Racer.
I don't know. Yeah,
I never actually watched it, but I know of Speed Racer.
Yeah, I mean, if Speed Racer was in this, I'd be like, okay, that's an interesting. But yeah, like, no, he's not like named or anything in this one, but no.
All right.
Like, if you look up Gold Lighten, that was the one Tatsunoko character I played just because he was a big, like, robot that was just made of gold. And, I mean, he was just that's it. And I was like, that's cool. Let's try him. And I mean, he was just a big character model.
Okay. All right. Then with that, I think we'll go ahead and move on to our number 3s. Let's see here. You both started one, so I guess I'll go ahead and start off our number 3s since I haven't gone first yet. And this is, make sure I got it right. Yes. My favorite of this franchise. That might be a bit of a hot take because I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of this one. And that is what would probably also be my favorite fighting game because I'm not really a fighting game person. Yeah, Smash Bros. Brawl. Mm-hmm. So this is my favorite Smash Bros. And I think this was also my number 1 when we did top 5 Mario games because this is, I'm not huge on the Mario franchise, and this is my favorite thing that Mario is in, and this is my favorite of them. So Smash Bros. Brawl, I do hate the tripping mechanic. It is ultra retarded. I'm glad that's never made a comeback because it's so stupid. I think that because I do know that there are some ROM hacks of this, kind of like there was for Smash Melee. Like there was like Project M, I think that was the Melee one. But I think that there are also some hacks for this one. I think they're actually working on already an achievement set for one of the ROM hacks of this game for Wii for retro achievements. But I don't think it's gonna be in the rollout. But where I was going with that is I think those get rid of the tripping, so I'll have to give one of those a try.
There's a recent one for Brawl that adds like a ton of characters and stuff. It might be that, or it's probably Project M because Project M is just like the most famous one.
That might be what I'm thinking of, Project M. So, but yeah, Brawl, my favorite Smash Brothers, and also the Smash Bros. I put the most time into, and the one I've spent the most time playing against other people, like not couch co-op, but you know what I mean, playing with people in the same room. Because this is the first one you could play online. But that wasn't the greatest experience, especially when there was no way to talk to the people you're playing with. So I actually mentioned this just recently on a couple of my other streams. The 1 or 2 times I ever did play it online was with everyone else that I played with. They were also Xbox people. So what we did is we got into an Xbox party and then switched the input on our TV to our Wii. And then we played Smash Bros. Brawl against each other, but we were talking to each other over an Xbox party chat. So yeah, I would not recommend the online, but as Dude says, Brawl has a great single player game. The Subspace Emissary, I'm looking forward to playing through that again because I'm almost positive this is on the launch lineup for Wii for retro achievements on Thursday. This is going to be one of the ones that I'm playing like day one. Yep, Brawl is in the rollout. Thank you. I figured it was. I hadn't actually verified, so thank you for confirming that. But yeah, I have so many next to probably Halo 1, which is probably my number 1 favorite memories playing Halo 1 LAN parties back in high school. This is probably my number 2. This was a little bit after high school. This was when I was in college, but me and my college buddies, we would hang out. We would play the bejesus out of this, and it was a lot of fun and a lot of good memories playing Smash Brothers with my college bros. And I've all the unsurprisingly, like all the Smash Bros games, like each one in the franchise just gets like more and more robust with all the extra content it adds, and just like everything they had in this game. There was just so much in it, and I pretty much guarantee you I'll never master this on Retro Achievements. I probably never master Smash Melee because there's like Beat Insane mode on All Star without. Well, you only have one life anyways, but without continuing and stuff. So I still have a ton to do to get back to Melee, but I'll absolutely never master this one. But I'm going to have a heck of a lot of fun playing it again because I haven't played it in many years for Retro Achievements. And yeah, there are lots of great characters. Oh, so it's kind of funny because each Smash Brothers game, my main character has changed. So my main character in Smash 1 was Samus, and then in Smash 2 was Roy. And because Brawl, they got rid of Roy. So I was like, let me try out the pseudo replacement for him, which was Ike. And I like Ike better than I liked Roy in Melee. So Ike is my main in Brawl. And what I liked about him so much was he counts as one of like the heavy characters like Donkey Kong and Bowser. But in my opinion, he's still rather slow. But for the heavy characters, he seems to be faster than a lot of the other heavy characters. And he hits really hard and his attacks are faster than a lot of the other heavy characters. So that's my main. I love Ike a lot, and he supplanted Roy as my main from Melee. So even when I played Ultimate, when both of them were in it, I took Ike over Roy. So yeah, had a lot of fun with this. I'm looking forward to playing it again for Retro Achievements here very, very soon. And I have had a lot of fun with this, and I'll have to boot it up to check like my stats and stuff, because I can pop this in my Wii right over there and load it up and see my stats, and I think it'll show you your hours. So I should have done that. I'll have to check and see how many hours I have in it. But I know I did nearly everything in the game back in the day. I'm sure there's probably stuff that I didn't do, but I did almost everything there was in this game. So lots of fun. I love it. Oh, and the probably the biggest addition to the game was they added the glowing orbs that give you like an ultra attack. I forget what
Final Smash.
Final Smash. Thank you. That's the term I was looking for. And that was freaking great. So Samus is doing like this like super hyper beam where it just like blows everyone away across the whole screen. Yeah, that was a great addition. And when that pops up in the middle of like 4-player match and everyone's like, it's like hectic trying to get to that. Just the hectic chaos that this game is just a lot of fun. So that is my number 3. So dude said Project Plus. Yeah, Project M I think was for Melee. Project Plus I think is the one for Brawl. So thank you for that, dude. And dude says, oh, that's right, he did tell me about that, talking about the achievements for Smash Melee. They lowered it to hard rather than insane on the no continue because it was just too difficult. So they do. That was one of the nice things about being community driven, is sometimes they'll drop it when things are just too ridiculously hard. So looking forward to playing this. I will be playing this on day 1 on Thursday for the rollout. So I don't know if this is on either of your lists, so you don't have to say if it is, but curious if you guys had a lot of fun with Brawl, or is this lower on your Smash Brothers list?
So I was between Tatsunoko versus Capcom or that for my number 4. The reason why I did Tatsunoko is because it was just on the Wii, and I played that a little bit more by myself. I played a lot more Smash with other people, but a lot of times it was like we would play Brawl, and then we would get, have fun, whatever, and then it's like, oh, that's right, this is a GameCube, and then we'd pull up Melee as well. So it was kind of like, if that was just the only one that we played, yes, but then it's like, oh, we played this for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Let's go back to Melee for the same amount of time. So it was kind of like bouncing back and forth. Okay. So if it was just like, oh, not remembering what Melee was, I would say yes. It would have been on the list, but I was like, oh yeah, let's go back to the GameCube version as well. Because again, we were using our GameCube controllers and everything like that. So it's like, yeah, let's go back. We have the copy of that right there too. So
okay. Yeah, I I barely ever played Melee with anybody. Melee I played almost entirely solo, but Brawl I played a lot of with other people.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that I was gonna mention and ask you guys about, because with Wii there are a number of different control schemes you could use, because there was you could use the Wii like this. You could use the Wii and the nunchuck. You could use the GameCube controller. You could use the classic controller. It was funny because like each person in the group that my college buddies that we regularly played with, almost all of us had a different preferred control style. And of all of those, one of those was someone's favorite control style. So mine, I always use the GameCube controller. So that curious, was that you as well, Jason? You use the GameCube controller on Wii?
Yep. My wired orange GameCube controller.
Okay, I mainly played it with the Wavebird.
Yeah,
which I still have a couple of my Wavebirds in a drawer somewhere. And that was
so.
Go ahead.
Unfortunately, the Wii that I got was the one without the GameCube controller ports.
I was just gonna mention that.
So I had to use the Wii Classic controller, and it was pretty awful.
Okay, I've never used the Classic controller, so I don't know how they were, but yeah, it definitely did not look better than a GameCube controller.
No.
So
still use the GameCube controller to this day for that game, that series.
Nice. So yeah, because I ended up getting because the Wii was white, and that was the only, at least I think that was the only color it came in, at least at launch. They released a black one later on. I was like, oh, I want a black one because black is my color. I will get tech in black 100 times out of 100 over tech that is in the color white. So I was like, oh, I want to get one of those. I ended up getting one and found it, took it home, and like, how do I plug my GameCube controllers in? And found out there are no GameCube controller ports. And because of for this game, not being able to play with a GameCube controller, I took it back and returned the black Wii, and I kept the white one. That's the one I got at launch, is the one that's still sitting back there. And that's the reason why, is because there were no GameCube controller ports. I was like, who's the idiot who decided to get rid of the controller ports? So shame on whoever that was. If it wasn't for that, I would have a black Wii. But no, I still have the ugly white one from launch. So, yeah, dude is also with me there. Says GameCube controller is superior. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, I think I've yammered on about Smash Brothers Brawl enough. So,
I'll say Brawl is my least favorite game in the series.
Least favorite. Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. Least favorite Smash Brothers, and it's my favorite. Although I do have Ultimate. I just haven't put in enough time, because I like I said before, I only got a Switch about this time, 2024, so I haven't even had it 2 years yet, and I didn't get Smash Brothers Ultimate until probably late 2024, or it might have even been early last year. So I've not put a lot of time in Ultimate. That would probably be my favorite if I put more time into it. But I do have to go with Brawl because I put a lot of time into it and I love everything about it. Whereas Ultimate, I'm not a fan of the single player mode, whatever. I forget what it's called, like the Spirit Quest or something like that. I don't like. Whereas I do the Subspace Emissary was great. So, but I totally understand it being someone's least favorite. So.
See, I do like Ultimate single player mode more than Brawls.
Interesting.
I thought the Subspace Emissary, a lot of people like to glaze that thing. I don't like it. I thought the level design was bad. The enemies were the original enemies they made for it were also bad. And it's just not a lot of fun. And I think the main reason why people they want another version of that is because the one on Brawl is the only one of that kind that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing really to compare it to.
Yeah.
Where, in my opinion, I thought it was pretty lame, and there's a lot of things they could have done to improve it.
It's funny how we have just exact opposite opinions on Smash Brothers. But that's fair enough.
It's also the one that I've spent the least time playing in multiplayer. I imagine it's probably the worst for multiplayer because of the tripping and all the ridiculous way they've changed the way characters move and stuff like that.
And you having played so much Smash Ultimate on your Monday brawlers, yeah, I that totally makes a lot of sense. So, but what was I just gonna say is, who knows? It could be kind of like I was saying other to me for like Metroid Other M, where I played it when it originally came out and I didn't really mind it, and then I replayed it just recently and hated it. I only played Subspace Emissary once when the game was new. And as you can see, the game is 18 years old, so I probably haven't played it in almost 20 years. The Subspace Emissary mode, that is. So maybe when I go through and play it for retro achievements, maybe I'll have a completely different take on it this time. We shall see. I just remember enjoying it, but maybe when I go through it again, I'll be like, "Why did I enjoy this?" Who knows? But I totally understand that. So,
Jason's muted.
Dude says there are black Wiis with the GameCube controller ports. Interesting. I might have to go find one of those and replace my Wii just so I have a black one. Are you back? Nope. Having some audio issues. All right. Well, while Jason's figuring out his audio, Lois, you want to give us your number 3?
Yeah. So my number 3 is an odd one. Have you guys heard of a thing called Operation Rainfall?
No, I've not heard of that.
Check.
Oh, yep, we heard you there.
Back. All right, cool.
What was he gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say I get echo now. Give me a second.
You sound all right.
No, I have an echo on my end.
Oh, on your end. I was like, we don't hear it.
Nope, I can hear me talking. All right, there we go. No, I was gonna say is when you play Subspace Emissary again, you'll still like it. You'll see a couple things. You'll be like, oh, okay, this is some faults here and there, but you'll still like it.
That's what I think. But
hey, maybe if I tried it again, I'd like it. Who knows? I've also only played it once, so
yeah. No, like the way you described it, you're gonna say the same way. Like, there's no other thing to compare it to. So like that's why we want another one, because it's like, oh yeah, this was good and I remembered it, but there's some parts where it's like, man, this could be so much better. And then when they gave us something different that there's like, oh, it's gonna be like that, so you're like, well, it's not the same, but it does its own thing. But if they did like a version of both of those together to make like the pun intended ultimate or whatever you want to say version of a single player, like it would do both things. So like I do understand where the people are like, oh yeah, that's the only time. But yeah, when you play it again, you'll be like, okay, I understand.
So, all right. So what is Project Rainfall?
Operation Rainfall. It was an internet campaign that started back in 2011. And what happened back then was there were 3 games that were being released for the Wii, but they were not coming out in North America. And one of them is a game called Pandora's Tower.
I've not heard of this one. Was this a Japanese exclusive?
It was. So I can't remember one of these games.
Oh, this looks like a Wii game.
Kind of is, yeah. Some of these games were coming out in like Europe, but not in North America for some reason. It was very strange. Like Nintendo of America were smoking crack back then for some reason. So I don't know. And one of these 3 games ended up being like one of the most critically acclaimed games ever on the Wii. Yeah, dude just brought it up. Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what are
them.
the other games that were Japan only?
Yep. The other 2 were this one, Pandora's Tower, and another game called The Last Story. The Last Story I did not finish, so it's not on my list.
Okay.
But this game was really unique.
Yeah, no, never heard of it, so tell us about it.
The gameplay kind of reminded me of Resident Evil, because a lot of it had like the fixed camera angles, like that was kind of top down. But it was an action game and you'd fight enemies and you have like this chain thing that you use to like grapple enemies and also use it to like traverse the levels and stuff like that as like a grapple hook. So the whole concept is you're this guy, he has a girlfriend and she's like being consumed by this mutation sort of thing. And in order to cure her, he has to go into this tower, find like the flesh of some monsters, and then give it to her to eat so that she can, withstand this curse. And it's like the story is really like weird and disturbing. But again, like I said with the other ones, I haven't played these games in a long time. I just remember really loving it.
Okay.
So if I had to, the gameplay, it does have kind of a Metroidvania element because some of like the grapple abilities and stuff that you do to interact with the levels, you kind of learn them as you go along. And then there's more parts of each level that you unlock through those abilities.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll have to after we're done here, I'll take a look at some videos of this game on YouTube, assuming that they exist. Maybe it's too niche, and see if it catches my interest, because the action RPG I'm definitely interested in. And it's funny, right as dude put it in chat, I pulled it up and saw it as well. So there is someone working on a retro achievement set for that game, and it's Tele, who I think is one of the like, I don't know, founders of Retro Achievement, or one of the early achievement developers, but he's a well-known person in the Retro Achievement community. So it's interesting that such a niche game, there's someone working on an achievement set for it. So Pandora's Tower, okay.
yeah, it's kind of a little cult classic.
All right, Jason, do you ever heard of this?
No, I mean, the only one out of the three that he said was the last one, the last story. I remember hearing something about that one, and obviously Xenoblade Chronicles, but everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not know that this was part of those three.
Those three games aren't actually like related.
No, they're just like
no,
okay. Not it's like brought to the US in a way.
Okay. So, all right, Pandora's Tower. I will have to look into that and see some gameplay on it. See if it catches my interest. So, all right.
Yeah, this whole Operation Rainfall thing is another reason why I kind of hated Nintendo in this generation. They were on some crack or something. A lot of weird decisions.
They still make some weird decisions, but yeah, that is odd. All right. Well, Jason, what is your number 3?
So my number 3 had a very great Switch remake from it, but I remember when it came to this, but DKC Returns, I was super happy that they brought that back. Again, I'm not the biggest Donkey Kong 64 fan, so when they're like, hey, we're going back to the platforming of just 2D platforming, it was one of the, besides the next 2 games, obviously, that we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about, was one that I'm like, all right, cool. The Wii's in the living room. They'll have to boot me off because, again, they're little levels. I can get through them kind of thing. They're like, hey, you'll have to wait till I'm done with these next 2 things. Like, I'm in here. Unless you want me to take this thing out of here, you can wait, kind of thing like that. So
it's DKC Returns. I do know. Well, I don't know if it's set to be in the launch lineup, but I'm pretty sure the achievements are ready to go. So I would kind of be surprised if it wasn't. But That's funny. Donkey Kong Country Returns. I didn't even know this game existed until the Switch version, which I have.
Yeah.
Right up here. I just got it last summer. I haven't played it yet, so I've not actually played this game. And for Wii, the retro achievements give me the first time I actually played through this game. But I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like, so when it came out to the Switch, I was like, I'm so glad it did, because again, for how popular we talked about, like, the Wii was, a lot of these kind of good platformers, even though, I mean, I don't know this, like, how well it's sold on the Wii, but like, for me, I think a lot of people played like New Super Mario Brothers, which is a great game to itself, but I think just Donkey Kong Country is a better platformer when it comes to that, in my opinion. So like, yeah, so I'm glad that it got more life on the Switch, and a lot of people, again, considered a Switch game over a Wii game. But yeah, when I was like, oh, cool, it's on the Switch, but like, they should play it on the Wii as well, because like, it's really good.
Okay. Yeah. And it's, I believe this was Oh no, that's not true. Because dude informed me that there are some other Donkey Kong games on GameCube that I didn't even realize existed. Um, but it's kind of a more traditional return to form of the 2D platformer because there was DK64 that was definitely different, different direction, and then there was I forget the one there was a couple on GameCube, but there were like the bongo controllers, which you could play. From what I hear, you could play it with a regular controller, but it kind of ruins the experience. The analogy that I read someone say online was it'd be like playing Guitar Hero without using the guitar. It's like playing Guitar Hero with a controller, which it ruins the game. And there is an achievement in Guitar Hero 2 or 3 for beating the game on hard with using a controller and not the guitar controller, and I did that, and that sucked.
Really? I think that'd be easy.
No, it's difficult.
It's harder.
It's way.
I mean, I remember playing the first Guitar Hero with a controller on the PlayStation, and I was like, "Oh, this is not too bad."
But that's the analogy that I heard. Is like,
yeah, makes sense.
The bongo controllers, you're not getting the proper experience. So, but this one, more basically cuts out all the gimmicks, and it was the traditional 2D platformer, but with a lot of mechanics added in that weren't in some of the older ones. So I have played the first couple of levels, but I haven't. That's it. I played like the first 2, maybe 3 levels. So I've gotten a little taste of the game, and it is interesting how different it is. Cause I just played through Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 again for the first time in decades last summer, and then jumping into this one because in that one you take one hit and you switch to the other Kong, you take another hit, then you're out. Whereas this one you get like 2 hits, and then if you instead of switching back and forth, you can get Diddy on your back, and he gives you an extra 2 points of health. Interesting mechanics that they added, but the little bit that I played, I really enjoyed it, and the change that they made and really spruced up the gameplay, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to playing through it in its entirety very soon.
Yeah, you'll have fun.
So Donkey Kong Country. Oh, and dude says that Donkey Kong Country Returns does not have it set ready. I have it pulled up here on Retro Achievements because there is a way that you can see the unpublished achievements, and it looks ready to go, but maybe they haven't made the official announcement that this is in the launch lineup. So, but he says Barrel Blast does have achievements, which I'm assuming that's probably one of the GameCube Donkey Kong games that I did. Holy crap, there's 60 games in the Donkey Kong Country franchise. I would not have guessed that the number would be anywhere near that high.
I didn't know there's 60 either.
But that's across, the original Donkey Kong on NES.
Oh, okay. That's just Donkey Kong in general. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. Okay, yeah. I was like, that makes more sense to me.
And across all the different platforms, like 600 DS, the arcade versions. So, let's see here. Jungle Beat was one of the other ones on GameCube, and Donkey Konga was on GameCube as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, those are some of the other ones that I never saw, much less played. So they almost don't exist in my head. So, Barrel Blast is a Wii game, and okay, so that is one of the ones that's set for the launch lineup is Barrel Blast, but not Donkey Kong Country Returns. But if it's not on launch, I bet Donkey Kong Country Returns achievements will be published very soon. If I had to wager a guess. So, but he also says, I like Returns, but I hate the motion controls. Why'd they have to make the roll tied to waggle? That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's easily one of the worst things about this game.
That's what I've heard. So
they had to add the motion somewhere.
When I was looking into this game to learn more about it, that was one of the things I saw across many forums is the waggle to roll. It's like, why didn't you just make it a button press? So, actually, I'll talk about that when I get to it, so never mind. But all right, Donkey Kong Country Returns. And that looks like that wraps up our number 3s. Unless, Lois, you have anything that you want to mention on DKC Returns?
I did play it. That's about it.
All right.
Hey, it's a win anytime I can mention a game that somebody else has played on these top 5 sometimes.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't like it nearly as much as you did. I don't remember much of why. Because I don't remember a lot from the game, to be honest.
I see. It's to me, it's just like it brought back Donkey Kong Country the way I wanted it. I mean, granted there was mechanics, but like I'm like when 64 came out, I'm like, great, we're gonna have another collectathon, gigantic big game that I really just want to get back to 2D platform running around. Games aren't going to be like this because they have Mario doing it. So anytime they can get Donkey Kong, they're just going to make a big collectathon again. And then when this came back, I was like, I was wrong. Okay, cool.
This is not a Wii game, but I think it was originally a Wii U. So I'm assuming you played it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but between Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, which one is the better game? So I'm assuming you played it, given that you're hesitating.
Yeah,
because I also I would Switch and haven't played it yet either.
I would definitely pick Tropical Freeze.
That's
just me.
No, I'm probably choosing that one too. Okay. Like Tropical Freeze is really, really good as well.
I've heard good things about both.
Yeah, like I said, they're both really, really good. But like Tropical Freeze is a little bit more on the updated and everything. Yeah,
dude agrees. He's a Tropical Freeze by far.
Yeah.
But he also says DKC Returns is Retro Studios' worst game, and it's because of Nintendo's mandate on motion controls, which I understand. I haven't played it, so I can't say, but I have a retro game that I like less. I think I'm going to enjoy Donkey Kong Country Returns more than Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, I said, I mean, again, the gimmick, like I said, if Donkey Kong Country Returns came on any other system that didn't have to fit in a gimmick, like we would have been fine. But again, for what they had to do, it still was great. And like I said, it brought him back to where he needed to be.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, all right. That we'll go ahead and move on to our number 2s. So, Jace,
it's kind of funny how it's funny how I can't really remember like hardly anything from this game. The one thing that keeps coming to mind every time I think of this game is like one of the last levels in the last world. And I remember dying a lot. That's my main memory of this game. And it's because of, and a part of it is because of the waggle roll. You like have to use it there.
I'm pretty sure I'm trying to remember now. I'm assuming it was probably because one of the, like if you died a lot, it was probably one of the jumps that you had to do.
Probably.
Because I know like dying in the game, like just by getting hit wasn't that, it was pretty hard to die that way. It was more like, again, the cheap deaths or the mechanic of like, oh, I need to do this to get, certain area. But like that'd be my guess, but I have no idea.
All right. All right. We'll go ahead and go on to our number 2s. And I think for 2, let's have Lois kick off our number 2s.
Okay. Number 2 is probably a controversial one because a lot of people consider this game to be pretty bad. But it is... I did not prepare for this one. It is bad. I will admit that it's bad, but I still like it.
That's perfectly reasonable.
Okay. There's a lot of things to complain about with this game. You pretty much have to use a classic or Wii Pro controller in order to play it without having any issues. So that's probably a big reason why a lot of people don't like it.
So far, that's the reason why I would like it.
Maybe. So I might as well just say it. It's Knight's Journey of Dreams.
Knights. Okay. The only Knights game I ever played was I went over to a friend's house who had a Sega Saturn, and I played a Knights game on his Sega Saturn once. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I liked it, but I played it for maybe 15 minutes, and that was it.
Yep, they're very, very simple games. This one tried to be a lot more involved. There's like a more fleshed out story. There's cutscenes which are not very good.
I'll go ahead and ask once you're done.
So it basically plays more or less the same as the Saturn game, where you're on a straight track and you go up, down, left or right.
Oh, that was
you try to.
It's still like an on rails sort of game.
Yeah, it's an on rails. It's like a precision game, I guess you could say, because you're trying to go through these courses in just the right way, so you can maximize your score.
Okay.
But this one lets you transform into like a dolphin, like you can see in that trailer there, and a couple others.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know exactly what I was looking at there.
Yeah, but I think the thing that the reason why I like this game so much is because it brought me back to like when I was a kid, and in a way that most games can't really do. Even though, like, okay, so the original Nights into Dreams, I actually played that one after this. So this was the first one that I played.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I was thinking that, like, I mean, Nights is a great game, but I think the people hated this one so much is because it wasn't. I get, like you were saying it, like, already, like, it was just trying to do too much. Like, yeah, it was a game that people wanted and they loved, and then they got this, and it's like, oh, why didn't you just give me what we had back on the Saturn so long ago? We would have been kind of cool with it. You didn't have to kind of just do all this extra stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of the transformations and a lot of the sub stages, and yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff that the game does. But yeah, I didn't have that sort of bias because I never played the original game.
No, that's good. That's good. Fresh take. When you got done playing the original, did you like the original better than this one, or did you like this one better than the original?
No, I liked this one more.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's a bit of a hot take.
Probably. I do like the original game. The original game also, the thing with the original game, if you go back to it after this one, it's like extremely simple. It's extremely simple, and there's not a whole lot to it. So the original is like a super short game. This game's also not very long, but I believe there is a true ending to the game. You have to get a C rank in every stage or higher in order to unlock it, from what I remember. Okay. So it will definitely take you way longer to beat it than the original.
Okay. Yeah, due to saying that, this is the sequel to the original Nights into Dreams, which was a Saturn game, which has an achievement set on retro achievements. And he says, yes, that this Nights Journey of Dreams has an achievement set for Wii for the rollout. So cool. Maybe you could just put this on our radar. Maybe I'll give it a shot at some point down the road.
Yeah, so the default control scheme, though, is the Wii pointer.
That was my assumption.
Yeah, so the problem with that, though, is that if you're holding the Wii towards the sensor, you have to like move it to the left or to the right in order to get it to move left or right. If you go past the sensor, the game just like completely disconnects it. So you have to return it to where the Wiimote's detected by the sensor in order to start controlling your character again. Otherwise, he'll just keep going in that same direction.
Oh.
Or he'll stop, one of the two, I can't remember. But either way, it's terrible. So if you're just using the controller, you just use the thumbstick to point where he goes, and it's so much better that way.
Oh, so you can use you don't have to use the Wiimote.
No, you don't have to. If it was just with the Wiimote, this game would have been utterly terrible.
Oh, yes, I've got it pulled up on Retro Achievements. It says in the details, it says no motion compatible, so you can play it without the Wiimote. So,
yep,
good to know. Because that sounds terrible. Or it's like you just barely get out of the sensor range, like to the side, and it just like disconnects. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nights Journey of Dreams. Okay.
And the last thing I think I'll say about this game is that the soundtrack is amazing.
Okay.
I love the soundtrack of both Nights games. They're both awesome.
Yeah, I say Nights soundtracks in general are really good.
Yeah, I didn't realize Knights. Well, I don't know about if the other Knights games are, but this one at least is published by Sega. I'm assuming the other ones are published by Sega as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they're made by Sonic Team.
Oh, I just noticed that developer Sonic Team.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right, Knights Journey of Dreams. Yeah. I might check that out at some point down the road.
I would recommend doing the Sega Saturn one first, but just to see if you like it, the simple version before you go into this one, because you might just, you might go into this and just like I said, those changes might just like kind of off put you. But if you have, to me, if you have the original, like, okay, I understand this gameplay, then you go to this, you'd be like, I can see what they were trying to do, and yeah, they shouldn't have done it.
I will. My opinion. If I ever get around to playing them, that's probably what I will do. I'll probably start with the original and then do this one, not play them in reverse order. Although I'm sure that probably is more of an issue with the gameplay style rather than this doesn't seem like it's a game where you're gonna like have too many story spoilers by doing the second one first.
No, the stories don't really matter all that much.
That's what I figured.
I from what I remember, the story of the original game is like almost non-existent. Like you just have you have a couple of animated cutscenes and you're supposed to just kind of put it together in your head. This one, the story is there. It's kind of cute, but it's not good. It's not like stand out or anything. It's just there.
Okay. All right.
And if you do play the original, they do have it on the Xbox 360. I do remember that now.
Oh.
Yeah, I played the original on the PS3.
Nights into Dreams. Oh, it is on 360. It's been delisted digitally, but it's backwards. Okay. Oh, it's digital only, but it's been delisted. So whoa, this is weird. It's been delisted, but it's backwards compatible, and backwards compatible games should still be available because it's an arcade game, not a full retail game.
Yeah,
this is a weird one.
Yeah, it was on Steam as well. I think the Steam one got delisted from what I remember as well.
Oh, interesting.
This is the first time I've come across the 360 arcade game that is delisted, but it is backwards compatible. Because that was one of the things is when the 360 store shut down, they said all the backwards compatible games will still be available to purchase, but not the non-backwards compatible ones. But yet this one you can't buy. So it was on 360, but if you don't have it, you're a SOL because it's not available physically.
Yep. The Steam one is delisted. I actually do have it in my library. They were handing it out for free at one point.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is lame.
That's how I got it.
So, your best bet now is, well, I guess you have the one that you're talking about. That was on Wii, so obviously that one was a physical game. The digital versions are all delisted, which is freaking stupid. So then your next best bet is getting a Saturn and a physical copy of the Saturn game.
Yeah, good luck with doing that one.
That sounds pricey.
Yeah, and then if you don't have the right controller for the Saturn, it gets a little harder too because there's a certain controller that game absolutely needs for it.
Okay. This is one of those cases where it's perfectly okay to just go find a digital copy, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Exactly. So, all right. Dude says he has the Saturn game. I am not surprised by that in the least. I would be more surprised if he didn't have it. So, and two of whatever those specific controllers you're referring to.
Yeah, the 3D controller. It pretty much had a instead of the D-pad, it actually had like an analog stick.
Huh, I don't think I've seen that controller.
I can grab one in a second. Over there.
Well, okay, that's okay. I can pull it up on.
Yeah, it's big. Online. It's very big.
So, I was gonna say, Jason, why don't you go ahead and give us your number 2, and then I'll finish up our number 2s.
Sure. My number 2 is pretty simple. I waited a very, very long time for this game to come out. When it did come out, and I was like, great, it's on the Wii. Could have been on the GameCube, in my opinion. And now I'm still waiting for another sequel to that one. But that is Punch-Out.
There was a Punch-Out on GameCube?
No, I'd rather had it come out on the GameCube, but it was on the Wii. And like I said, it was pretty much the sequel to the original Punch-Out instead of the Super Punch-Out and all that kind of stuff. So, you get Little Mac again, and This is the mech that we get in Smash and everything. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had never played this, but I did know this one existed. I was like, I didn't know there was one on GameCube. There wasn't.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, I've never played any of the Punch-Out games actually. Well, I probably played the original one at NES when I was like 4 at a friend's house, so I don't really consider that having played it. But
yeah,
I've never touched Super Punch-Out. I'm not even sure I've ever actually. I probably have seen Super Punch-Out, but I don't think I've ever actually seen any of this version of Punch-Out. So
yeah, no, this one's really, like I said, it was true to form. They went back to the original one, so like you had to get star punches, a little bit more timing involved and all that stuff. More again like a puzzle game than anything. So, but yeah, it was really, really good. It was cool to see all the characters from the original one come back, and then just kind of brought in the what we like to call in the next, high def next generation kind of thing. Because again, the art style from what we did see them as to what we see them now was kind of fun.
Yeah, because the last one before this was Super Punch-Out. Is that right?
Well,
or was the one on N64?
No.
So they skipped 2 generations.
Yeah.
So you said this is kind of a return to form. So what changes was it in Super Punch-Out from the original?
Yeah, so in Super Punch-Out, you had a super meter. So anytime you land an attack, you can get to a super punch. So if you wanted to just hit, you can find ways to round it and you can stun them. Where in Punch-Out, if you do a certain timing and everything like that, you can hit them, and what would happen is you would get a star above your head, and that would be just for one special punch. So you couldn't just spam punches to get a super punch.
Okay.
You actually had to do other things. So a lot of like ducking, dodging, pattern recognition to be like, oh, I should do it now.
Duck, dodge, duck, and dodge.
Exactly, pretty much. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that they brought back to this, and a lot of the fights that you had were against the original Nintendo characters. So like King Hippo that you see on the key art right there, Glass Joe, Von Kaiser up there as well. So again, like a lot of like, hey, we're bringing back Punch-Out from the NES to this, to kind of like not a remake, but like to reintroduce everybody.
Like
because again, there's all in a way, yeah. So when this came out, I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe we'll get more because they're bringing this back. And now we're on the Switch 2, and
was this the last Punch-Out game?
Yeah,
on Wii. So they've again now
waited
another 2 generations.
Yep. Now 17 years later, we're still waiting.
Is there any news of another Punch-Out? I didn't think so.
Not that I know of.
So okay. So would you say there's 3 Punch-Out games then? Is that right?
Not counting the arcade one, but yes.
So Super Punch-Out, would you say is that your least favorite?
Probably. It's one of those weird ones. Like, it's the one that I'm the best at, but it's like my least favorite to play, just because I'd rather, like, I like the timing. I don't like some of how the fights go and everything. I don't like the gimmicks in the Super Punch-Out. Where these ones, I mean, I think this one's the hardest one personally.
The Wii one is the hardest.
I think so personally. Especially after you beat everything, and then there's another like level of like going through the fights again, and then each fighter has like their weakness, and then when you go through them again, they have their weaknesses covered by something. So they're like, they know that's their weakness, so they're like, oh, you got to go into it now. You have to relearn them, because what you did before is not going to work on the game, because the character knows, oh yeah, if I get hit here, I'm gonna have a plate set right here, so you can't hit him in the stomach, because that was his weakness. Now I have to figure out, oh, how do I get through him, because now the puzzle changed on you.
Okay. My next question was input method. So is it anything like the Wii boxing and Wii Sports, where you got your right punch and your left punch with the nunchuck, or how did it play?
I don't remember that, because I just like literally, because again, they treated it like the NES Punch-Out. All I did is there you go. Yep. Okay. Just turned it into an old NES style controller, and I was good to go.
You know what? Let's see here. There is a dash in it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the arcade version.
And then, as you can see on the screen that Lois has, the super secret fight is against Donkey Kong, if you can get there.
Okay, so you actually fight against him. You don't actually fight as him.
I believe you can fight as him too.
There it is.
That one I couldn't remember. That one is because it's been so long.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, it actually looks like there were 2 Punch-Out games on Wii. Doc Lewis's Punch-Out. Are you familiar with that one?
No.
Oh, it's a WiiWare game.
Oh,
That's why.
I'm not even aware of that one.
Yeah, it's called Doc Lewis Punch-Out. And it was a WiiWare game. But yeah, so let's see here. I was pulling up the Wii version of Punch-Out and Retro Achievements. It says no motion compatible. So yeah, you could just... but it says Wii pointing required. So you probably needed to point at the screen to get through the menus, but then you rotate it sideways to actually play it, would be my guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Miscellaneous, it says it could incorporate the Wii balance board. Do you know how that works?
No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it doesn't give me any details on it, but on the Retro Achievement,
I would assume because of I would assume
board.
if you would to go left and right, you would just put more pressure on the left and then on the right to instead of going with the D-pad. That'd be my only assumption.
That would have been my guess as well.
Yeah.
If you did use the balance board and you also boxed like it was in Wii boxing with these are your punches, you could probably get a pretty good workout playing this game.
More than likely, you also get destroyed by the computer.
Yeah, probably.
Because I like the final boss is Sandman, and he was like, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good, and like I was like, holy crap, Mr. Sandman is ridiculous.
I want to start singing Enter Sandman right now.
Yeah, I like when
Neverland.
Because I knew they weren't going to bring Tyson, or I thought they'd bring back Mr. Dream, but then I was like, oh, Mr. Dream, the Sandman. Like, but as soon as I saw Super Macho Man being like the sub boss, I was like, oh wait,
Macho Man?
Like, yeah, Super Macho Man.
Randy Savage?
No, just Super Macho Man.
Is he like inspired by Randy Savage?
No. If you looked at him, you'd be like, huh? I mean, he was like I said, he's just an older version of this Super Macho Man that we got from the first one. Like it looked, all the characters just got older in a way, but not too old because they can still fight. It's like I said, it's a great reintroduction to the game, but yeah, I just wish we'd get more.
Right. So I don't know if you guys heard about the thing that I've spent like the past like 5 minutes or so trying to find this, but there was a rumor about Nintendo not being interested in making a new Punch-Out last year, and the reason for that was like because of the stereotypes of all the characters wouldn't be received well in today's world.
They gotta cater to the modern audience.
Yeah.
The thing is, this apparently
that's what made them.
Apparently, this was like not true.
Okay.
I'm glad because that's the characters, like their gimmicks or their personalities being from where they are and that stuff. Like that's what makes them that. It's like all fighting game characters that come from certain areas. Like I don't know. Like I absolutely love I don't know. I absolutely love the characters from Punch Out. But again, they're all top 5s that I get to mention this game. Like it's so much fun.
So. Yeah, this rumor came from Kind of Funny, who.
It was just a rumor on that's why they didn't want to do another one.
Yeah, they said it was from something they heard behind the scenes, but it's Kind of Funny. They shouldn't be trusted.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they did. There was some more research, and then someone else interviewed or got a quote from someone saying that, "Oh, we don't remember anything like that." So, yeah, I guess we'll see. Who knows?
I mean, again, it's been 17 years. Hopefully, I mean, I'd be if it's like F-Zero and Punch Out. Like they're Nintendo great franchises that we'll never see much of. And now we're getting into Star Fox as well.
Yep. So while we're on the topic of Punch-Out, someone is currently working on an achievement set for it. Whether it's going to be available for launch, I don't know, but it's in development. So it looks like Punch-Out will have retro achievements here soon. So, October Mike says, like Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, and King of Fighters. I don't
Talking
know.
about pretty much like each section, each country has their gimmicks for what their characters are.
Oh,
So,
okay. I was like, I don't
like,
know exactly
Street
what he's
Fighter-
referring to, but
yeah,
okay,
like Street Fighter and Guile being from USA, being the military guy. You know, Blanca from Brazil being a monster that's a person. A Russian bear wrestler being Zangief. Like, yeah, like
all characters have a trait.
Yeah, it's like, and no one has a problem.
Everyone
with
loves
that.
those characters.
Exactly,
They
everybody
do.
loves them.
That's the thing. People love them. They love them for those reasons. Like, again, Glass Joe is from France, so he's got a lot of croissants. And when you knock him out, croissants are dangling above his head. Like, there's so many. Like, it's just weird things like that, and it's charm. To me, it's charm.
It is charm, and if no one would dislike that either, because have you seen what Expedition 33 just did with their French stuff in the game?
Yeah.
And everyone loves that game. So
yeah.
And just a minute ago, did you mention Zangief?
I did, yeah.
I thought you mentioned Zangief because I was thinking whenever I hear Zangief, it's like, just because you are a bad guy does not necessarily mean you are a bad guy.
Yeah. It's a Russian bear wrestler himself. Let's go.
So, all right. So Punch Out. Maybe that'll be the first one I give a shot. Is the one on Wii at some point.
Hey, if you can beat this one on Wii, you could beat the one on the NES.
Okay, interesting. So, all right. Well, we're on number 2s, and I have not gone yet. And this might be a little bit of a surprise given my preference in franchises. But my number 2 is one that has been mentioned tonight on someone's list. And I didn't talk a whole lot about it because I want to talk about it more when it was my turn. And my number 2 is Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I bet you thought that was going to be my number 1, given how much I love Metroid. But
imagine my shock.
Imagine. But I'll explain why it's not when I do get to my number 1. But yeah, of the original 3 Prime games, it is my least favorite. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. It's my number 2 Wii game. I do love this game, and I just replayed it again recently for the first time in many years on stream, and I loved it still. So I kind of mentioned earlier when we were talking about it, the whole the hyper thing. I don't have an issue with it. It's just kind of the design aspects that kind of go around it that I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's not really that big of a deal. Unless there's an achievement for beating the game without using hyper mode, but I don't think that'd be possible because you have to use hyper mode to beat some of the bosses, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so this is the summation of the Metroid Prime trilogy, because there is no Metroid Prime or really any Metroid in Prime 4. So that, you could basically take the Prime title off the box. But yeah, I thought it wrapped up the kind of the overall arc with, especially with Dark Samus, quite well. I really enjoyed it. I one of the things I did really like that I think a lot of people weren't too big of a fan of, but I liked it, was you finally got to use your ship and actually go to different planets. I really like that. And go back and forth between the planets, even though it is pretty, as Dude said earlier, it's pretty linear, but I didn't mind that. But I like being able to go to different planets. That was really cool. And you actually got upgrades for your ship, although they're, for the most part, they're only story progress. The main thing that's kind of really pointless is the ship missile upgrades. Your ship can carry more missiles because you only need to use it like 3 or 4 times throughout the game to blow open. You have the ship like blow open a wall so you can continue. But there is 1 or 2 combat encounters where it's not required, but you can call in your ship to do a strafing run that a lot of people didn't even realize. But one of the things I was going to talk about earlier, but I was like, no, I'll wait till it's my turn. The motion controls, like Lois, I enjoy the motion controls. It was funny because when I first was going to play this on stream, obviously it doesn't have retro achievements yet. There it is. All right. But yeah, so I played it on stream a little while back, and I was like, and at the time, we hadn't even gotten an announcement on when the Wii was getting the launch date, which is, it was funny because I beat this one, and then I immediately after this on stream I did Other M, and then like a week or two after I beat Other M, we got the announcement that Wii is getting retro achievement support, and they gave us the date, and I was like, date! I wish I would have known that because I would have probably held off and played them later so I could go through them. But I have no problem playing this one again for retro achievements. No problem at all. It's Other M that I'm not looking forward to playing through again for retro achievements. But anyways, when I was prepping to play through this game on stream, because it is Wii motion required, because there's a lot of inputs that are based on different hand motions. And I was like, how the heck am I going to do this? So I spent like an hour or two trying to figure out how to map all the different motion controls to be able to play it on controller for on stream. And I just gave up. I'm like, I don't even know if it's possible, because there's like, sometimes you got to like go forward and like push in and pull out and twist. And you got to like throw your nunchuck, and you got to hold a button and then yank back. And like mapping all of those to various button controls, like this is not going to work. So I just caved, and it was just funny. You can do it if you wanted to, at least on Dolphin. It's just very, very complicated. So if you do play it through Dolphin, I definitely recommend get a Wii sensor bar that is, doesn't go into your Wii, but actually has a USB port, so you can plug it into your computer. And they're actually really cheap. So you can get them on Amazon for like $10. So that's what I did. And then I was able to play through the whole game on stream with my Wiimote and nunchuck. So that was what I was going to say about the motion controls, is mapping it to a controller is a pain in the butt. It's just easier to play with the native controller, and just getting a Wii sensor bar that plugs into your PC instead. But one of the other things that I really liked about the game is because in all the 2D games, as you get upgrades for like your beam, well, not all of them, because I've gone on many rants about the original Metroid on NES and how bad that game is. But other than that one, well, the first few upgrades you get in the original NES Metroid, your beam upgrades do stack, but then for some reason they don't, and you have to go back and forth, switch between Ice Beam and Wave Beam. They don't actually stack. But most of the other 2D Metroids, all your beam upgrades stack on top of each other. But what they changed for the Prime games is your beams don't stack; you switch between them. So in the original, and all of them, you have your basic power beam. But in Prime 1, you got the Wave Beam, then the Ice Beam, and then the Plasma Beam. And then in Prime 2, you got the Light and Dark Beam basically at the same time. And then late in the game, you got the Annihilator Beam. In Prime 3, they went back to more of the standard beam where all your beams stack on top of each other. So that was kind of cool getting that in a Prime game. Because in Prime 4, they kind of went back to, you only have one beam, but you switch between your different like missile types essentially. But it plays more like the Primes 1 and 2 with your beam rather than in Prime 3 where they all stack. So that was kind of cool. That you get the like Wave Beam, and then the Nova Beam is the last one. I forget what they're all called, but that was a cool thing that they went back to the stacking beams, so you don't actually switch between the different beams. However, you do, just like in Primes 1 and 2, you do have the different visor modes, and you do have to switch between different visor modes. And that is actually done through, I think you hold minus, and then it brings up a wheel, kind of like slows down gameplay, and you got to point at the screen for which visor you want. Rather than like on Primes 1 and 2, it was, I think it was the D-pad were your visors, and then the C-stick were your different beams. But and that was another thing that I don't know if a lot of people had issues with, but with Prime 4 being very recent and people talking about, like Samus doesn't talk, she doesn't really interact with people. Prime 3, I don't think she ever spoke in Prime 3. I could be wrong about that. I don't remember her speaking in Prime 3. But obviously she does interact with a number of NPCs, but it wasn't a lot, and it was very seldom. So I thought the way that they did the interactions with the NPCs in Prime 3 was done well, and I wish they'd kind of kept it like that in Prime 4. But I thought the way they did, light interactions with characters. Probably the thing that you interact with the most are the Aurora units. They do talk a lot, but those are not necessarily. I mean, they're light characters, but they're like these brains that are these like biomechanical brains that have that are conscious, or they're AIs essentially, and they do talk a lot, and they're the what kind of leads you along your quest. So people might have had problems with that. I didn't really have a problem with it. I have much more of a problem with it in Prime 4 because they just like amped it up to way too much. Like you can have other NPCs and dialogue in it, just you don't have to go so over the top with it like they did in Prime 4. So I think they did the dialogue and the characters in Prime 3 quite well. And the fact that you have these other bounty hunters that are almost like Empire Strikes Back when Vader's hires all the bounty hunters to look for Han and the Falcon. Kind of the same thing, but the good guys, the Galactic Federation hires a bunch of bounty hunters. I forget exactly what the mission was that they send you all on at the beginning of the game, but they hire you and a few other bounty hunters, and they're all good guys. Spoiler alert, they get corrupted and they turn bad, and you have to fight them throughout the course of the game, and it makes for some really interesting boss battles. And those are some pretty cool characters. I think, I don't know, this one would be my favorite of the characters, but I think probably my most interesting of them for the boss battle aspect was Gandreda. She's the one that looks kind of like Cortana, and she's like see-through. The fact that she can shape made for a really cool boss fight. So I'm glad that you agreed with that.
Yeah, her boss fight was awesome.
Probably so there's 3 other bounty hunters. There's Rundus, who's the ice guy. There's Gore, who's like he's almost like General Grievous. He's like this like mechanical cybernetic guy that I don't know what his backstory is, but that's Gore. And then Gandreda is like the shape-shifting, like purple Cortana looking lady. And I'd probably say Rundus is probably my favorite as a character, but Gandreda made for the coolest boss fight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing through this again very soon. This is the first game I'm playing on Retro Achievements on Thursday on Wii. Because my very first GameCube game, I played that on GameCube's launch date, and that was Metroid Prime 1. And that was actually my very first retro achievement mastery, where I got all the achievements. I still need to go back and get a few more. I've got like 4 or 5 achievements left in Prime 2. I'm not going to be doing that before Prime 3 because this is part of the launch lineup. But I will go back and master Prime 2 at some point. And but Prime 3 is going to be my first Wii retro achievement game. I'm hoping it'll be my first mastery as well. We'll see. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to playing through this one again, even though I just played it, a few months ago. But I do really enjoy this game, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. And it's got some really cool, interesting biomes, like Lois said. The Sky, I already forgot.
Skytown
is a really cool biome. The other ones is not the planet you start on, but basically the first major planet you go to. I forget what it's called, but it's got like this fire and ice thing. One of the things about that planet, I forget what it's called, is it introduced me to this concept in astronomy, which is actually a real thing, where a planet is tidally locked, which means that the rate at which it rotates is the exact same as which it revolves around its star, which means one side of the planet is always facing the sun and one side of the planet is always facing away. Which is like the moon. The moon is tidally locked to Earth. That's why we always only ever see one side of the moon, because it's rotating at the same speed it revolves around it, whatever it's orbiting. So this planet introduced me to that concept, which I later learned about in one of my astronomy classes. I'm like, oh, I know about that from Metroid Prime 3. And most of when you're on that planet, you're in the twilight zone, which is that like not the equator, which, here's a planet, and the equator would be this, like the center of the planet that rotates, facing the sun, but like the part of the planet where it's in between the hot and cold zones. So it's basically the north. It'd be equivalent to our prime meridian, which is the equator on Earth, but the one that goes north-south rather than east-west. And that's like the twilight zone because it's right in between the face. It's always facing the sun, always facing away. And so it's a more temperate environment. So I just thought that that planet introduced me to that concept in astronomy, and I thought that was a cool setting for a planet in a video game. So, and then let's see, so that was one, and then what you got Skytown, and because there were 3 major planets, and I'm forgetting what the third planet was. Lois, do you happen to remember what the other one is? I know you said it's been a long time since you played it.
I don't remember what the location is, but it had a space pirate base on it. From what I remember.
Let's see here. Norian, Brio, and Elysia. Elysia is the Sky Town. The Pirate Homeworld. That's right. That's the one. That's basically the last planet you go to before the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it's all like not urban, but it's all like technology. Like you're not in like wild. You're not like fighting like wildlife.
It's like sci-fi industrial, basically.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like a sci-fi industrial planet with an acid rain, and so your last suit upgrade is actually the hazard shield, which allows you to go out in the acid rain without taking damage. So, some really cool biomes in Prime 3. That was the other thing I was going to say is one of the things that I was not a huge fan of. It's not that big of a deal, but I did look through the unpublished achievements for Prime 3. And I said this while I was playing the section in Prime 3 on stream. I was like, I bet you this is going to be an achievement when it gets achievements. And sure enough, it is. There's a section on the Pirate Homeworld where you have these 12 explosive Marines where you have to get them through to blow open these walls to make it to wherever you're trying to go. And, there is an achievement where you got to keep all 12 of them alive, which is really difficult. So that one's probably going to be a pain in the butt to do.
Achievements were a mistake.
No, I disagree because there's no reason not to have them. Because if you don't care about them, then you can just ignore them. But the people who actually do care about them have something to work towards. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything I have to say on Prime 3. Lois already talked about it. Jason, did you play Prime 3? All right.
No. First person Metroid games.
Oh, that's a disappointment because Prime 1 is the best Metroid game in the franchise.
I feel the same way about DK in 3D as I do Prime in first person.
I understand, but I completely. Oh, I agree with I agree with
the analogy is great. Yeah, the analogy is good. But yes, I understand. I could be wrong. It's fine.
I like analogy. Both.
Which is fine too.
I agree with the Donkey Kong, even though I like DK64, and I will be playing it for retro achievements at some point. But it's not as good as the 2D ones. But I vehemently disagree on the Metroid Prime 3D versus 2D aspect. Mm-hmm. But to each their own,
right?
So. All right. Well, that will lead us into our honorable mentions. So, I don't have a whole lot of them, but
yeah, my honorable mentions kind of go into my number one because I've already mentioned two of them already during your guys's picking them and everything like that. So I will mention my honorable mentions as soon before I mention my number one.
I was going to say, okay, in that case, why don't you do your honorable mentions last, and then you do your number one first, and then Lois and I will do our honorable mentions prior to you. So, Lois, you want to give us your honorable mentions? Do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
All right.
So, I feel like I'm about to sneeze.
Worst feeling.
Perfect timing, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have There's three games in my honorable mentions that are like pretty much interchangeable with my number 4 and number 5. And that is one of them is Super Paper Mario.
Okay.
Which was like a real departure from the older Paper Marios. It was the first one. A lot of people complained about it, but it ended up being, in hindsight, it's actually a pretty decent game on its own.
Okay, because I haven't played any of the Paper Marios, but I've heard that generally that one is not terribly well regarded.
At the time it wasn't.
People have softened on it since.
I think a lot of people have softened on it, and a lot of people actually really, really like it now.
Okay.
And I think especially after Sticker Star came out, everyone hates that game. They think it's one of Nintendo's worst games ever made. So.
Sticker Star, was that also a Wii game?
No, it was on 3DS.
That was a 3DS, okay.
I never played it, so I don't know how bad it really is.
Oh, and dude says that Super Paper Mario is in the Wii rollout.
There you go.
For anyone interested.
Link's Crossbow Training.
Okay.
I loved that game.
I never got a chance to play it.
It's really just a short, simple gimmick, but it works so well. I loved it. A lot of replayability.
I believe that is in the Wii rollout.
Wouldn't be surprised. And then what's probably my number 6 game is Sin and Punishment Star Successor.
I've heard of Sin and Punishment, but I know absolutely nothing about it.
It's basically a shoot 'em up game that you use the Wii pointer for.
Okay. I have a similar game in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, it is probably the most difficult game that I've played on the Wii. Unless you count like Brawl beating it on very hard or without continues or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that's just ridiculously hard.
Yeah, Sin and Punishment Star Successor is a super hard game. Even though it does technically allow you to just like keep retrying with a bunch of checkpoints in it, you're meant to go from like the beginning of the stage to the end without dying. But doing that is so hard that it's like, yeah, you're gonna die a lot, especially on the first playthrough.
Okay.
Then I have a bunch more honorable mentions. Brawl is probably at the bottom of my list. We talked about that earlier. Mario Kart Wii is also at the bottom of the list. I think that game was kind of weak for Mario Kart. Basically, Double Dash is my favorite, but I think Mario Kart 8 is the best, technically.
I agree.
That's what I hear.
So, yeah, Mario Kart Wii is like right in the middle. Is kind of like I don't know. It's just kind of lame, in my opinion. But a lot of people will hate me for that one.
No, I think it falters from the gimmick because it's like, here, you can use your remote to turn. It's like, here, by the wheel.
Did you have to? Like, could you use a controller instead?
I mean, absolutely you can, but like, I think that's what made the game for the Wii so like lackluster is because it's like, can they really make these turns with this when, yeah, they can go play with controller, but hey, we're Nintendo. We really want them to use the motion control. And I think that's what kind of made it a little bit on the weaker side.
No game with Funky Kong gonna be mid.
Yeah,
understandable. Have a nice day.
But Dude just says Mario Kart Wii is also in the rollout and has a ton of mod support. Nice.
We have The Last Story, which I didn't beat, so it's also near the bottom of the list. It's an interesting game, but there's a lot of gameplay issues I had with it, so I never beat it. In sort of the middle of my honorable mentions, I have Arc Rise Fantasia, which is a JRPG.
I would explain why I've never heard of it.
Yep.
Definitely sounds like a JRPG based on the name.
Yep. There's a game called Fragile Dreams Farewell Ruins to the Moon. It's a really, really rare niche game. Very Japanese kind of kids horror game, I guess you could call it, because it's like
a cutesy, scary game.
Yeah, kind of. And then Rodea the Sky Soldier is also another one that's super niche, super rare. It's like this was one of the games made by Yuji Naka after he away from Sega.
Okay.
So he's the guy that was in Sonic Team, for those who don't know.
Yeah. He's got some interesting history.
Yeah, that game had like a development hell and ended up releasing on the Wii U. But there was also a Wii version that was packaged with it. And the Wii version is like the best version to play because that's what it was originally made for. If I had to describe it, it's basically what if Sonic's homing attack was the entire game.
Oh, I've heard, what game is that again?
Rodea the Sky Soldier.
Okay, I've heard someone, I didn't remember the name of the game, but I've heard someone describe a game exactly like that. And I'm like, oh, I've heard of this game before because they said exactly that. So, and dude says Rodea is also in the Wii rollout.
Kind of surprising, because not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, I remember hearing it in like a list of like good games that like nobody played, and it was this one. They said it's if you took the Sonic 3D attack, homing attack, and made a whole game out of it. It's like, All right.
Yep.
Now
You basically use the Wiimote pointer to like point where you want to attack, and that's where he goes. It's actually a really interesting game, but they released it on the Wii U. The Wii U version is absolute garbage. There's also a 3DS version that's absolute garbage. So the only version that's worth playing is the Wii version.
Okay. Would you say it's anything like Gravity Rush, or is that?
No, because Gravity Rush, you have direct control over your character.
Okay, that's the one where you
This game
shift
you
gravity and you just fall, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
But you can also run around and do all that. I think with Rodea you can run around as well, but only when you're on the ground. When you're in the air, you're only using the homing attack. You don't have direct control over him. He only goes where you point the Wiimote, and it's like you click the button and then he goes there automatically.
Okay.
And if you're going the wrong direction, you have to click somewhere else so he moves a different direction.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Was that your last honorable mention?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, actually, I forgot to grab my disc for my honorable mentions, but Lois mentioned the Sin and Punishment game as a first-person shooter, and similar
it's a shoot 'em up, not a first-person shooter.
Oh, a shoot 'em up. Okay, I misunderstood you then.
So it's technically a third person.
All right, well then this game is
like,
not similar to that.
Imagine, okay, so that one is, let me see if I can pull it up actually. It's kind of, it's more like Star Fox than anything else. Like, so you have the camera behind your character and you're shooting forward.
Okay.
Here we go.
Our successor.
See if I can play this without it breaking. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, this is nothing like what I was thinking. I misunderstood when you said shooter. I was thinking first-person shooter. So that was my bad. Well, so this seems more of like an on-rail shooter then.
Yeah.
Okay. This does look interesting. Makes me think of what was that? That on rails, not Hex. Fez. No, not Fez. Fez, that was a 2D.
Rez.
Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. It looks like, it reminds me of Rez.
Okay.
A little bit. I never played Rez, but I remember seeing it, and this gameplay, kind of makes me think of it. It also seems like
Space Harrier.
This also is very similar to the on-rails shooting levels from Azura's Wrath. At least on the shooting parts. It's very similar to that. So, and dude says Sin and Punishment first game was on N64. That's the one I never played, but I knew of. It was a Japanese exclusive, and you held the controller with the left and middle handles. I saw when I got my N64, the manual showed you like 3 different ways to hold the N64 controller, but I never saw a game that actually used anything other than the center and the right. So that would have been one of the ones that hold the left and the middle. I saw that as a way to hold it. I'd never played any game that ever used that. So interesting. Sin and Punishment was one of those games.
I actually used the left and right handle for Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, so you use the D-pad rather than the joystick?
Yeah, it's the D-pad has made it a lot easier to do the tricks more accurately with, in my opinion.
I played a crap load of Tony Hawk on N64, and I never even knew that the D-pad actually worked in gameplay.
Yeah, there's a lot of games where the D-pad just did nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, disregarding Sin and Punishment because it's not anything like the game I was going to mention. But a game I was this is another one of the games that I bought on release. I'm pretty sure it was a launch title because it looked really cool. And then it turned out to not be a great game, but it was still a lot of fun. It was basically the Wii's first-person shooter star launch title, and that was Red Steel. And it switched back and forth between a first-person shooter, which you aimed at the screen and you obviously use the joystick to move around and stuff. And it was first-person shooter. The animations were kind of weird, but it also you would get into. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever, but it was because of the motion controls. They also, it's a perfect setting for using, melee weapons. So you also had a katana and like a short one. I forget what the short one's called, but it's like you block with this one and you slash with the katana in your right hand. So it would transition back and forth between using guns as a first-person shooter, and then you get into sword fights. But like someone would run up to you with a sword and it would automatically switch into sword mode. It's like, I have a gun. Why couldn't I just shoot them? But the gun automatically goes away and you pull out your sword because, obviously that would ruin the gameplay. But it made no sense on why you couldn't just shoot them because that'd be a lot easier than getting into a sword fight. But either way, the shooting mechanics and the sword fight mechanics weren't great, but it was still a fun game. And it was, pretty novel, very novel experience at the time because no one's ever had a first-person motion controlled game, first-person shooter at the time. There was a sequel, Red Steel 2. I never played that one, but that one was much later and it actually required Wii Motion Plus, and I heard it was a lot better, but I never played that one. So hopefully it'll get retro achievements at some point and I'll play that one for the first time. But I don't believe that Red Steel has achievements at launch, or even it doesn't even
look at that rating.
It hasn't even been claimed. So what's the rating? 5.7.
5.7. That's the lowest I've seen so far.
It's not a great game, but I did have a lot of fun with it.
Yep, I've never played it, but the only things I've ever heard about this game are negative.
Yeah.
And then everyone glazes the second one, so.
Yeah, I've heard that second one was much better. Never played it. I did enjoy the first one despite it being a bad game. So I forgot about this, but this would definitely be on the list of bad games you enjoyed. Red Steel would be on there. So I haven't played it since, the Wii was new. So maybe that's me be like, I have to justify this purchase and I have to like this game. Maybe if it gets retro achievements and I play it again, I can come around on it. Maybe I'll have a different take on it this time. But I enjoyed Red Steel 2. And then the other one that I own is where this came from, Skyward Sword. So I did have a lot of issues with it, but it was still a decent game. And as I said, I am looking forward to playing it again for the first time since it was new very soon. But I'm going to be doing another game first. But yeah, it's a good game. It just is not up there in my top echelon of Zelda games. But it's not bad by any means. I had some nitpicks with it. So,
you know what's funny? I had that in my honorable mentions too. I forgot to mention it.
Oh yeah. So both had an honorable mentions. So, and like I said, this one does have an HD version, which I haven't played, but I've heard that all of my gripes with it are addressed in the HD version. But that's on Switch, so it'll be a very long time till that one gets retro achievements. The other three, because I have 5 in my honorable mentions. Those are the 2 that I own. And the other 3 are ones that I rented. I have one more here that I do own. It's not here. It's in my bookcase out at the front. I forgot to grab it. But in my opinion, it's the best version of this game. That might be a hot take. I don't know. Jason will have to tell me because he's an expert. But this is the only game in this franchise I've actually played. And not only that, I played to a good extent. I never actually beat it, but I will be changing that here for retro achievements soon. And that is what everyone claims to be one of the greatest games of all time, Resident Evil 4. I tried it on GameCube and it was terrible. I tried it on Xbox. It was terrible. The Wii version of Resident Evil 4 actually made the game playable, and it is by far the best version of Resident Evil 4. The only reason why I didn't beat it is because Jason, you don't have to tell me because you're an expert in the franchise, but the enemies, the regenerators, show up, and the only way to beat them is you have to have a specific gun with a specific attachment, and I didn't have either of them, and I would have had to trudge halfway through the game to get to them, so I just gave up and never came back. But now that I know that, next time I play it, I'm going to come prepared. But how far into the game would you say the regenerators show up?
You're pretty far. I would say you probably were 3/4, maybe a little bit further.
Okay, because that was my guess, just on how long I played it, was I was probably about 70% of the way through the game was my assumption. So I got pretty far in it, and that's legitimately the only Resident Evil game I've ever played more than like actually played any of, even including just being on the menu screen. But yeah, I owned it on GameCube, and it was terrible. So when the Wii version came out, I traded it for the Wii version, and I actually liked it because you could actually aim. Because my biggest problem with that game is the aiming on controllers is garbage. And I don't understand why people love this game so much. The Wii version, you can actually aim because I can point where I want to aim rather than the way I always describe it is the way you aim in Resident Evil 4 on both the GameCube and I tried the Xbox One version as well, and I had the same issue. Is most games like you actually feel like when you're aiming the gun. In Resident Evil 4, when you're aiming with a controller, it makes you feel like you're actually controlling Leon's arms, not the gun itself. So the aiming is just like freaking terrible, and I couldn't stand it. I could not get past the opening interaction. The first, you go into the village right at the beginning of the game, and I could not get past it. And I tried like a dozen times. I'm like, this is freaking trash. When I got the Wii version, I was actually able to make it through like 70% of the game. So that's probably a hot take, but in my opinion, the Wii version of Resident Evil 4 is by far the best version. And I'm actually looking forward to giving it another shot for retro achievements, and I'm almost positive it is in the rollout. And I will be finally beating it, so I can finally say I played and beat a Resident Evil game after 19 years. Obviously it's been around longer than that, but like I said, that's the only Resident Evil I played, and I got it around launch. So that was nearly 20 years ago. So that is the other one in my honorable mentions that I actually own. So October Mike chiming in saying, absolutely love Resident Evil 4, especially the remake. I did enjoy the classic one too. I've not played the remake, and I don't plan to, but I am. Well, no, I don't plan to because I don't own it. But I do own Resident Evil 4 on PC, and I may do that at some point because I bought it because I've told this to DJ Axis, who's also a big fan of Resident Evil, and he's like, go ahead and pick it up when it's on sale, and I got it for like $5, and we'll do a stream, and he's going to help coach me through it. And he's like, the PC version is way better than the console version with mouse and keyboard. I own it. I've never even launched it, so I'm going off his word. We're going to do a stream at some point where I play through Resident Evil 4, and he's kind of coaching me through it on the PC version. And we've been talking about this for probably like 2 years now, but we're going to do the same thing flipped around where something that I'm an expert in, because he's like me. DJ Axis is a big Mega Man fan, and my favorite Mega Man is Mega Man X3, but he's not well versed in Mega Man X3. So at some point, we're going to do the counter stream to that where he plays Mega Man X3 and I coach him through it. So I don't know when that's going to happen because we've been talking about it for like 2 years now and it still hasn't happened, but we are still planning on it at some point. So, and Dr. Mike says, good luck with the resources, cries in Resident Evil 3 getting my butt smacked. I don't get it because I haven't played Resident Evil 3. So my last two honorable mentions are ones that I rented. So I didn't own them. I only played them once. But Call of Duty 3, I think that was probably, I forgot. I think that might have been a launch title. I could be wrong about that. But as for a Wii motion-controlled first-person shooter, Call of Duty 3 was far, far superior as a game to Red Steel. But you didn't have swords and have, sword fights in it like you in Call of Duty 3 like you did in Red Steel. So that's why I preferred Red Steel. But that was really cool playing a motion controlled first person shooter. What was that, Lois?
I have heard some people say that playing Call of Duty on Wii is better than any other console. I
have not heard that.
Interesting.
But I could understand that because I did enjoy my time with Call of Duty 3 because it was funny because I played Call of Duty 2 on 360, then I played Call of Duty 3 on Wii. Then I played Call of Duty 4 back on 360. So, and then the last one I have here is a bit of a hidden gem, I think, and it was arguably one of the best first-person shooters on Wii that not a lot of people know about. It's published by Sega. Again, this is one that I rented that I completely forgot even existed until I was getting ready for this stream. And I'm like, oh yeah, I rented that game and I played it. And I hadn't even logged it on GameShelf because that's where I logged basically every game I've ever owned or ever played. And I didn't even have it on my GameShelf library until yesterday. And that was The Conduit. It was like this sci-fi first-person shooter. I remember there being the White House involved and there's aliens. And it was a rather decent first-person shooter on Wii with the motion controls. And there was a Conduit 2, but I never played that one. But I do want to give that one a shot. Neither of these have retro achievements planned, but if they ever get retro achievements, I will absolutely play them again. The one thing that irks me though is the first one is called The Conduit, and the second one is called Conduit 2. So in an alphabetical list, they're on opposite ends of the list from each other. It's like, why couldn't you call it The Conduit and The Conduit 2, or keep it Conduit and Conduit 2? But one has the and one does not, and so because alphabetical lists, they don't show up next to each other, and it annoys the crap out of me as being OCD about stuff like that. It freaking annoys me. But yeah, Conduit was a pretty cool sci-fi first-person shooter on the Wii that probably didn't get a lot of attention, and just want to give it a little bit of love.
I feel like I saw James play this on one of his Steam roulettes once.
I would be surprised since it isn't on Steam.
Is it not on Steam? Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
It could be a very similar game. But yeah, right there, all it says is Android and Wii. So
I was thinking the same thing.
There is a game called Conduit, but it's not this game. It's completely different. Don't use the in alphabetizing things. Exactly. Dude gets it.
Yeah.
That annoys the crap out of me when you include the. And it's annoying when when you're comparing like two things. Like I might have my GameShelf list that I don't know if it does or doesn't, but it'll have them alphabetically one way, and then I am looking at my list on True Achievements, and it does count the, so all the thes are together, so it's a different order list than on GameShelf. It's just freaking annoying. It's like it'd be nice if there was if everything that has something like that has the option to choose whether you want the to count in alphabetizing or not, because the should not count. I agree. Yeah, and
you'd be surprised how many programs still do use it that way though.
He says same with the word a or n, an
yep.
before something. I totally agree that unless it's something like a way out, then like that I would say alphabetize it in a. But if it's something that's like I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so we'll just say like a game with guns in it.
A Momentary Lapse of Reason by Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
I can't think of a game. I just thought of the album instead.
Yeah, I can't think of a game either. But yeah, something like that. Don't include the A. But that one gets a little weirder. But yeah. And dude says, I argue with people on RA for the longest time about that, RA being retro achievements. That's hilarious. I'm on your side, dude. Don't include the in alphabetizing. So, yeah. All right. That is it for my honorable mentions. So, Jason, why don't you give us your honorable mentions, then you can lead us right into our number one.
So the main thing that caught my attention to the Wii, besides the games that we've already talked about, were I was like, oh, cool, there's motion controls, and TVs were starting to get away with light guns and everything like that. But when I found out that some of my arcade favorite games were making their way to the Wii, like Ghost Squadron and Gunblade New York / LA.
Ghost Squadron is another game I rented from GameFly, and I did play it. I don't remember if I ever beat it though.
Yeah, so Gunblade New York and LA Machine Guns were on arcade, and they're like, "Oh, you can play this at home now." I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. I can play the the light gun shoot 'em up arcade games back at home, but I don't have to buy any peripherals. I just use this and point and shoot." So then that leads me into number one. Those two were close, but I had to choose the one that I thought was the coolest because, again, Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises, and they made a game called Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles and Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. And I like Dark Side Chronicles better than Umbrella, but I'm lumping them together because they are pretty much tandem. But yeah, Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles is my number one because you get to live out Resident Evil 2 as a light gun shooter. You get to live out Resident Evil 3 as a light gun shooter, and it's all the Claire Leon stuff like that as a light gun shooter game.
Are we still talking about honorable mentions?
No. I went right into number one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I missed the timestamp then.
Oh, you're fine. It was
okay.
Yeah.
So
they'll understand
a little bit more about these two games. Do they play like traditional Resident Evil games, or are they? How do they play?
They're arcade light gun shooters.
They're arcade light gun shooters. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
What's it called?
Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles is the one that follows Claire and Leon, and then Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles follows the first game, but as a light gun shooters. But I like Dark Side because I think it does some stuff a little bit better.
So it's
But
the
also-
Resident Evil version of House of the Dead.
In a way, yeah.
Hold up. This was made by Kavia.
I don't know who that is.
They are the ones that made the first Nier game.
Oh, I know how much you're a fan of Nier.
I think.
I noticed that because you know when we talked recently, you were telling me about how much you. When you were on open mic recently about you were telling me about how much you love Nier.
Yep, there it is. And Drakengard 1.
I put Nier on my wish list as you suggested. It's currently on sale for like 60% off, but it's still too steep for my price at the moment. But I do have it on my wish list, thanks to you.
Yeah.
So, Dark Side Chronicles. And what was the other one? Umbrella Chronicles?
Yeah, and that's so like one was one version of them, the other one for the other ones. But yes, dude was right. He did guess 2 of my games.
So I guess 2 of Jason's games before we started talking about the games. So interesting. You haven't mentioned Resident Evil 4 at all. Not even in your honorable mentions. When that's the best version of Resident Evil 4 is on the Wii.
No, it's definitely not.
Why do you disagree? I'm curious from a Resident Evil expert.
So it's a good version to get people to play it, but the GameCube version is by far the best version.
Interesting. Because yeah, I can't stand the aiming in that game on a controller, and the aiming is so much better with a Wiimote.
It's not that difficult to aim on a GameCube controller.
Like I said, I tried it on GameCube and on Xbox, and I couldn't get past the very beginning of the game, the first encounter with the, I don't know if you call them zombies in Resident Evil 4, but you know,
Las Plagas,
that opening village encounter, I couldn't even get past it. But then the Wii version, I had no problem.
Hey, there's ways around it. Pushing the ladders, jumping through windows, shooting legs. Yeah, it's not difficult.
So all right, so let's see here. Let's go to. Does it seriously still not have it listed in the consoles yet? Lame. Resident Evil 4, which I believe is in the Wii rollout, the Wii edition. It is claimed, so there's someone working on the achievements. What I wanted to go to was Resident Evil games that are on the Wii and check those other ones. So it's got the Wii, it's got Resident. Because looking at, I see Dark Side and Umbrella Chronicles here. I also see there's 2 more Resident Evil games on the Wii. Archives Resident Evil and Archives Resident Evil 0. Those just like Wii versions of previous Resident Evil games?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because I know 0 is the weird one. I didn't know. I the 0 one. I don't know about the other one. Okay. I would assume they're just Wii versions of those games.
Okay. And both the ones that you mentioned as your number one, Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles, both of those are claimed. So someone is developing achievement sets for those.
I see that.
Whether they're going to be available on Thursday or not, I don't know, but someone's working on those achievements. So you'll be able to play those for retro achievements very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. The Dark Side Chronicles has 3 people working on it. Is that like a collection of 3 different games?
There's a bunch of collections. There's a bunch of stuff in it. Like it's 2 Code Veronica, 4 I'm missing a game. But yeah, it's like sections of each game thrown all into one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that explains why it's got Leon on the cover art, which I didn't notice until just now. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So
yeah, it's just an arcade version of what like the best way to describe it is like, House of the Dead style Resident Evil, but they took story beats from the games already, and they're just like, okay, throw it all together. And it's like I said, it's a unique change, and the only way you could do it obviously is to have a light gun, or like I said, bring it to the Wii. So
yeah, the Wii was the perfect way to bring light gun shooters into the home, and that's one of the things I've talked about not recently, but like on Party Chat. A couple times we talked about like what's something in gaming that's disappeared you'd like to see come back. Even though I didn't really play a lot of light gun shooters because that was an arcade thing, and I was like arcades were. I mean, there were arcades when I was a kid, but it was the arcades were on their way out when I was a kid, so I rarely ever played an arcade machine. But I always thought that they were really cool. I just never got a chance to play them, so I was like, "Oh, the Wii, that's a perfect setting for light gun shooters." But I think the only light gun shooter I played was, as I mentioned, Ghost Squad. So
That was the only thing too. Like you said, like I loved LA machine guns, but having a Wiimote instead of the gigantic weapon that you get in the arcade. Because if you've ever seen LA machine gun like arcade cabinet, you're like, holy crap, that's a peripheral. You only get the little Wiimote for the at home. It's like that kind of takes it away, but like again, you get to actually play the game. So
yeah. So all right. Yeah, I didn't even know these games existed until just now, so I don't have much to say. Lois, did you know that these games existed?
Nope. I've also literally like never touched Resident Evil. It's just something that's probably not for me.
Yeah, for the most part. Oh, that was one thing because I don't like scary stuff, and Resident Evil is known as like a scary franchise. That's one of the reasons why I never played it. Resident Evil 4, like I said, I got through most of the game. I was like, this game isn't scary at all. But I think Resident Evil 4, it's because they kind of shifted the tone, and it's a much more of an action game. Whereas I think 1, 2, and 3 are much scarier. Is that an accurate estimation?
they're not scary at all. None of them. Unnerving, uneasy is the best way to describe it.
Well, I'm saying, but the fact that Resident Evil 4 is more actiony.
Oh, 4 for sure is an action movie, yeah.
And 1, 2, and 3 are much maybe not scary to you, but are scarier than Resident Evil 4.
Best way to describe it, if you want to say anything, Resident Evil, the first one, is alien, and then to me, 2 through whatever are aliens.
Okay.
Especially 4 is aliens.
That makes sense.
But like 2 and 3 are 3 you're getting chased, but you're getting chased the whole time. That's the only thing scary about it. And the enemy, whatever. 2 is like the in between everything of 1 and what it ends up becoming. That's why 2 I think is the best game to play. And then 1 is just you're in a mansion that's your puzzle, trying to find a way out, and there's less resources. So it's like, oh, I don't want to go in that room because I'm not equipped to go in that room and I don't know what's there. I could die because I don't have health. That's what makes it scary. And then, yes, there might be something that jumps through a wall. Yeah. And fixed camera angles, I think, are awesome, but that's a different story. I understand people hate fixed camera angles. I think they're fine.
Fair enough. So, all right.
I had a fixed camera angle game on my list, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that?
Pandora's Tower.
Oh, okay. That's right. You did mention that earlier, that it was a fixed camera angle game, at least somewhat. So, all right. Lois, go ahead and let me know. Do you want me to go first, or do you want me to go next? Or do you want to?
I'll go first.
Okay, then I'll
go first because mine's really it's going to be the least surprising ever. It's a game we already mentioned earlier. And hey, speaking of Chronicles,
shits.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade Chronicles. Okay. I would not have guessed that just because I didn't realize this was a Wii game. If I had realized that, I probably would have guessed that.
So it's also on Switch.
Okay,
because it got the re-release, the remaster. But and if you remember when we did our top 5 Switch games, I actually had it on the list.
Okay.
And the reason why I had it in my top 5 is because the Switch version actually adds content to the game. So there's actually new original stuff.
And I'm assuming that's a good thing, because I have recently learned that adding more content to an older game isn't always a good thing.
Well, the newer content is definitely not as good as the original game. There's a lot of issues I had with it. But the original game was so good that following up to that, it was nearly impossible anyway. So
it's hard to live up to the bar that it set.
Yeah. So as we mentioned earlier, this was part of the whole Operation Rainfall thing. This game was like the main motivator for that entire campaign.
Okay.
And as it should have been, because it ended up selling out when it came to the States. So, but the reason why it sold out also is because they made it a GameStop exclusive and they had like a limited quantity and they didn't print more until later on.
That's dumb. It
was really dumb. But it did sell out, so there was definitely a demand for it. It was a spiritual successor-ish thing to the Xenosaga and Xenogears games because it was made by the same guy. Completely different story, allegedly. It might not be. We don't know yet. But yeah, it's a biggest JRPG ever for the time. It was like had massive world, real time combat. Not action combat, but it is real time.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. It's like I've heard the name of this franchise a ton. I know nothing about this franchise, and the only reason why correct me if I'm wrong, but the only reason why I think I know who the main character is because of that sword, and the character that wields it in Smash Brothers Ultimate is Shulk. Is Shulk from this game?
Yep.
Okay, because I saw that character in Smash Brothers, and I had no idea what franchise he even came from. I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, at least I was like. Xenoblade Chronicles, which I've heard the name of, but I know nothing about. So, how would you describe the gameplay in this game?
Real time, where your characters auto attack, and then you choose when to use their skill attacks, basically.
Okay.
And then the skill attacks have like cooldowns. So a lot of people like to compare it to MMO combat.
Okay, I was just gonna say it sounds kind of like Knights of the Old Republic, but I think last time I mentioned that you said you hadn't played it. Is that right?
No, I haven't played it, so okay. I don't know.
But the combat in KOTOR is very similar to an MMO. It's just a single player game. So the fact that you say it's like an MMO combat, that's basically right on par with what I was thinking.
Yeah, there could be a lot of similarities there, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. And you said this is like a massive game.
Oh yeah, massive game. It takes on the first playthrough takes most people around 100 hours.
That's a pretty big game.
And that's because it's really easy to get distracted, go off the beaten path, and do a bunch of extra stuff.
Like Skyrim.
If you like beeline the main story, you might get it done like 60, 70, somewhere around there.
That's a lot.
That would be not enjoying the game to its fullest, so don't do that.
Don't play it that way. I'm assuming, because of how popular this is, I would assume that this is probably going to be a rollout game. It is claimed by 2 people for retro achievements, but whether it's going to be available on Thursday or soon after, I don't know. Oh, it has already got an in-game achievement system. So that would probably make it easier for writing achievements. So, okay. And yeah, dude says Shulk was introduced in Smash, with the Smash 4 in as the A. Which was that the Wii U one?
Yeah, Wii U and 3DS.
Okay, I never played either of those ones since I never had a Wii U or a 3DS. So my introduction to him was in Smash Ultimate.
There's really no reason to go back to Smash 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ultimate just took it above and beyond.
Yep. There's like barely any single player content for it anyway. So.
Okay. And also, Pyra and Mithra are from Xenoblade Chronicles sequel. Okay, the only reason why I knew they were also from the same franchise is because on the Smash character select, you see like an icon behind them that indicates the franchise, and they both have the same symbol. I don't know what the symbol was, but the symbol was the same. I'm like, oh, whatever they're from the same franchise together.
It's the sword, the Monado.
Is that what that sword is called?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's why October Mike said, this is the Monado's power. I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about. That's because that's what the sword is called, which I did not know. So, you know what? While we're on the topic, let's see here. How long to beat? I'm going to pull it up and see what it says for 100% Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, I can tell you that.
Oh, you know it off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's about 110, 120.
Oh. I don't know if was this version that you're looking at here. You said there's this one, and they ported it to Switch.
Yeah, they remastered it for the Switch, and that one's the one that added content. That one's going to take even longer.
Does that one have another name, like the Xenoblade Remastered?
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Xenoblade Chronicles X is a different game.
Oh, yeah, that's a different one. It's just Xenoblade Chronicles. There's probably something else.
Xenoblade. No. Oh, because there is Xenoblade Chronicles X, and there's the Definitive Edition. I'm on How Long to Beat. At least I'm only seeing one Xenoblade Chronicles, and it says main story 57 hours, and then completion 142 hours. So if there's a Definitive Edition, which is not actually listed here on
here it is.
How Long to Beat, it would probably be even longer than 142 hours that's listed here. So yeah, that's a good. That's a lengthy game.
So it said 142 hours.
Yeah, on the original version, not the definitive edition.
Okay.
For the 100%.
Because I did it in less time. I think that was because it was my second playthrough, not my first. Not my
That
first
would make
one.
sense. So, yeah, if you want a lengthy RPG to sink your teeth into, there's Xenoblade Chronicles. So, all right. And I forgot to, there are a couple other people in chat that I have not seen the names for, so I just want to say hi to them. So, Hedgehog Fan Fanatic, and 2006. So, maybe he's a fan of Sonic 06. I hear it's not a very good game, but hello, Hedgehog Fanatic. Welcome to Top 5 Wii Games. He says, the only games I found good after playing Wii Games implied were Wii Sports, Wii Play, Mario Super Sluggers, and Sonic Colors. The only one of those I played is Wii Sports.
Mario Super Sluggers is fun.
I played Sonic Colors. I didn't like it.
But always like to hear what everyone in chat's favorite games from the console that we're talking about for top 5 are. So I appreciate you dropping some of your favorites there. And we got Teddy Belcher 4K Ultra Wide. Welcome. Said that game was free with the system. That means it's cooked. That game is trash, bro. I don't know what game he's referring to. Whether it's
I think he was talking about Xenoblade, but
Evil. But
it's a game free with the system. It's probably Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii Sports came with my Wii. I don't have Xenoblade, so it did not come with the Wii unless it was.
Yeah. He mentioned this when we were talking about Xenoblade, so maybe he's watching early. So I don't know.
Maybe YouTube put him like 2 hours behind. It's done that to me before. I hate it.
I've had that happen before too, where I was watching a stream live and then I was commenting, and I think it was Dude was in chat. He's like, you're like 15 minutes behind. I'm like, how did I get 15 minutes behind when I've been listening to the whole time? I have no idea how that happened, but
it's if you're on PC, it might happen on mobile too, actually. But if you know how when you see a video and then it starts playing like automatically as like a preview,
you get views from that now.
Yeah, and then so if you go off of that, it will save the time that it stopped that preview at, and then it will put you there when you click on the video.
Interesting.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
That is really stupid, but like 99% of my YouTube viewing is on mobile, so that is not, at least on iOS, it doesn't do that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what game is trash, but I can't say because I've never played any Xenoblade. I know basically nothing about the franchise. I learned more about the franchise right now in the last 5 minutes than I knew, before.
No, I'm assuming he's talking about Wii Sports, and I could understand people. I could understand people saying that, like, they pick it up like, oh, this is dumb, and then they turn it off.
That makes a lot
of
more
people
sense.
did that.
Maybe he's watching from the beginning of the stream because that game was bundled in with the Wii. And I'm not saying it's a great game, but it was a lot of fun.
It was a good game.
So, all right. Well, with that, I will go ahead and finish off our number ones with my number one favorite Wii game. And, no surprise, it's the not other M Metroid game on Wii, the Metroid trilogy. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cheap cop-out answer. I would want to put that one because it has all three of them, but I haven't actually played that version, so that is not actually my answer. I just wanted.
I would have said no. Come up with another one.
That is completely fair. That one is. I think someone's working on the achievements, but because it's 3 games, it's going to be a while till it gets retro achievements. But I am very much looking forward to playing that one somewhere down the line for retro achievements, so I can play through Primes 1 and 2 again, and then 3 again. But do them all on one game for retro achievement. I'm looking forward to that. But no, my real answer is my second favorite game in this franchise, and it's very, very, very closely almost tied with my first, and that is the other Zelda game, which was a launch title. And this was the reason I got a Wii, Zelda Twilight Princess. So I kind of alluded to it earlier, and I didn't really talk about it much because when I was talking about Skyward Sword, I'm going to be doing Twilight Princess before and I'm going to immediately go into Skyward Sword after that. But given you guys know me and how much I like Metroid, you would probably think that Prime 3 was going to be my number one. But despite 3 being, I like Metroid better than Zelda, but I think Twilight Princess is a better Zelda game than Metroid Prime 3 is a Metroid game. Not that it's bad. I just think Twilight Princess does it even better. And like I said, Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda game. We established that back on episode 3 of Top 5, I think. Because I think 1 was Metroidvanias, 2 was Mario games, and 3 was Zelda. So Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess are almost neck and neck, but I do have to put Ocarina of Time at number 1. I am currently, like I mentioned earlier, I'm currently in the middle of it. I'll probably finish it tonight because I'm very close to the end of the game, but I'm currently replaying it right now for retro achievements. This is the first time I've played it in probably 15 years. It's not like a first playthrough because I've beaten this game dozens of times. So I still remember where, even though I haven't played it in like 15 years, I'm still remembering where secrets are without having to look anything up. Although there was a couple of quests that I forgot how to start the quest, but once I started the quest, I'm like, I know where to go from here. But yeah, like there's certain holes where you have to like drop a bomb or hit it with the Megaton hammer. And I remember where those are, even though I haven't played it forever. But anyways, Twilight Princess is a better Zelda game, I think, than Prime 3 as a Metroid game. And so that's why I put Twilight Princess as my number 1. And like I said, I got Wii on launch specifically for this game. All the other games that I got on launch were just ones that I was like, I'm getting a Wii, I might as well pick up some other games to play with it. So the guy recommended me a couple games. I think I mentioned earlier in the stream, one of them was Trauma Center Second Opinion, which is another one that I don't know if it's going to be on launch, but it does have retro achievements in the works. And I will be playing that at some point. But yeah, I bought a Wii specifically for this game, and it did not disappoint because it was everything that I was looking for that Wind Waker wasn't. And in my opinion, this is the true not sequel to Ocarina of Time, but it's everything that I wanted in the next game in the Zelda franchise, and it lived up to all my expectations and more. And it's significantly longer because Ocarina of Time, it's probably like a 20 to 25 hour game if you're doing like the main plus extras. I think because I've beaten this game 3 times. It's just been a long time since I played it. So I'm very much looking forward to playing through it again for the first time in a long time. At least the first 2 playthroughs were at least 60 hours because I think this might, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first Zelda game that also tracked your time. The other previous games, it would track like how many deaths you had. I know like the number counter on Ocarina of Time tells you how many deaths you had. This one actually had a time tracker, and I think the first 2 times I played through it, and I wasn't even going for 100%, was at least 60 hours. So it's a much lengthier game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it was all, in my opinion, good content. It wasn't just like, how a lot of the open world games is like, here's stuff to do. Yeah. Is it quality content? I felt that despite being a much bigger game, it had a lot of good content in it. So I'm very much looking forward to playing this again for Retro Achievements here, probably next week. Although my plan is Metroid Prime 3 first, and then Twilight Princess. But before I get to Twilight Princess, I do have to beat Ocarina of Time, which I'll probably do tonight. And I am also going to make sure I get through, not 100% it, but at least beat the story of Majora's Mask again, because it's been a long time since I played that as well. I was hoping to get through Wind Waker as well, but I will play Wind Waker at some point. It's just I'm not going to do that right now because it's on the lower end of my Zelda games. I'm very much looking forward to playing this one. So I'm going to go Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then jump straight to Twilight Princess. But I very much looking forward to playing through this again for the first time in a long time. Fantastic game. I can't think of anything negative. Like I said, I haven't played it in a long time, so maybe I'll come up with some negatives about it when I do play through it again. But I literally have like basically nothing bad to say about this game because this game is fantastic and right up there with Ocarina of Time. It might, after I play through it again, it might surpass Ocarina of Time because I'm doing Ocarina of Time again for the first time in a long time. And my biggest complaint about the game is I just didn't realize like how glacially slow the pace of the game is. Like the running animations, your movement speed, like how every time you pause it to bring up your menu, how long it takes the menu to come up and go away. Like everything in that game is like so slow, which is fortunate that I'm playing for Retro Achievements. I've been playing most of the game in ×3 speed, and it has alleviated most of that. I basically go back to regular speed when I'm in combat, but for the most part, I'm playing the whole game in ×3 speed, and it makes it much more enjoyable. So we'll see if after I play Twilight Princess again, it might surpass Ocarina of Time as my number 1. We'll see. But yes, Twilight Princess is phenomenal. excellent game, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it again for the first time in a long time. So that is my number one favorite Wii game. And my only disappointment in this was that the motion controls were a bit misrepresented, because I was expecting the motion controls to be like they are in Skyward Sword, which requires Wii Motion Plus. We didn't have that yet, and it made us think that it was going to be like that. And for anyone who doesn't know, in Twilight Princess, since this was a launch title and the motion controls weren't refined enough because they didn't have Wii Motion Plus yet, all the motions are basically tied to like a button press, essentially. So obviously, where'd my Wiimote go? You swing your sword like this, but it's just like a button press of swinging your sword in like an older game. Whereas Skyward Sword is Wii Motion Plus, so you can actually like hold your sword, and your character, Link holds the sword and it'll move it around just like you're holding it, because it has much more precise. Whereas Twilight Princess doesn't have that precise, so you can't like hold your sword around. You're basically just like motions to do button presses rather than like 1-to-1. So that was really my only disappointment in it, but that was not necessarily a problem with the game because they didn't have the technology yet. It was more so like a failure on the marketing, or maybe my perception of what we were going to get. So that could be entirely on me. That's really my only disappointment with it, was the motion controls weren't quite what I was expecting, but I still love them. So yeah, I think that. Oh, and one other thing is that was really cool is because a lot of the Zelda games, a common recurring item that you get is the hook shot. This one replaced it. It has the same function, but it had the claw shot. And basically the main difference is in the hook shot, and pretty much all the Zelda games, is you'll attach to something, it'll pull you to it, and then it immediately disconnects. The claw shot, it'll actually stay connected until you tell it otherwise. So you can like hang on walls. So it was cool when one of the later dungeons, you got a second claw shot, and you're basically like fantasy Spider-Man, because you can hang from one and then shoot another one, and then hang and then shoot another one. So it was really cool being able to do like Spider-Man in Zelda. So that was another cool thing. So, and right here at the end, Suns and Shadows coming in saying, "Hail, Chad. Good evening, Jeff. Hope you're doing well. We're just about to wrap up, but yes, I'm wrapping up our number ones, and Twilight Princess is my number one favorite Wii game." And also, Ariana Floyd is showing up in chat as well, saying hello. Good evening to you, Ariana. I don't know why I keep saying Ariana Floyd. Always good to see you guys. So, do either of you did either of you play Twilight Princess, either the GameCube or Wii version?
Yeah,
I played the GameCube.
I played it on GameCube and Wii U.
Oh, I didn't realize it was on Wii U.
Yeah, there was an HD port.
Oh, that's the one that people keep clamoring, like, bring that to Switch, like they did with Skyward Sword. So if they did, I would absolutely buy this on Switch.
Really no reason not to. I don't know why they haven't done it.
Yeah. Same with Wind Waker. It has also not been ported to Switch, and everyone wants that as well.
Yeah. So I also would go back and forth whether I like this one or Ocarina of Time more. I think I give it to Ocarina of Time, mostly because of personal bias, but also because one of the biggest issues that you didn't mention that I have with Twilight Princess is the combat. The combat is way too easy in this game.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it's like harder in the Wii version because you have to use the waggle controls, but in the GameCube version and the Wii U version, the game is like pathetically easy in my opinion.
They do give you a lot more combat options than they do in the previous 3D Zeldas.
It's not only that, it's more combat options. It's the way enemies are designed. They telegraph their weak points way too flagrantly.
Okay.
So, and not only that, when you get hit, you take way less damage than you do in Ocarina of Time. If you remember in the most infamous one is the final Ganondorf fight. If he hits you, you lose half a heart.
Okay, that is
and
pretty,
there's like
pretty sad.
There's like one attack that he has where you lose one full heart.
Yeah,
that's it.
That makes a lot of sense because like I said, I'm playing through Ocarina of Time right now. I just beat the Spirit Temple today, and when you're fighting Iron Knuckle, one slash will take 4 hearts if you get hit by it.
Yeah, and if you get slashed by Ganon at the last fight, he loses 5. So unless you have, like, usually people have that health upgrade by the end, but if you don't, you lose 5 hearts from
the
Ganon.
one that doubles your defense.
Yeah. Yeah. So
okay, I don't.
I remember doing
the
3 heart challenge. I think Twilight Princess was the first one that I did that for.
Okay.
And it was the easiest one. I did it without dying.
I know dude did that because he for the GameCube version, he's mastered the GameCube version. I will play the GameCube version at some point as well. And maybe that'll be the first 3 heart challenge I do, because there are achievements on Ocarina of Time for doing it on 3 hearts. I'm not doing the 3 heart run, but I'm not. I could, especially since I played this game so much, but I
think you should try it.
List.
I think it makes those games way more fun.
I will definitely give it a shot at some point. It's just I don't know when I'll get around to doing that.
Yeah, especially if you have like a history with the series and the 3D games, especially going into it with 3 hearts, it kind of like changes the way you approach combat.
Absolutely, it totally changes the dynamic of the game.
Especially when you go up against those iron knuckles, because you die in 1 hit.
Yep. Especially when you fight him, as Child Link, and you have to hit him so many more times because your sword is so weak.
Yeah, that's like the worst fight in the game.
But I was just thinking about it today. I think the Spirit Temple is my favorite in the game.
It's mine too. That's my favorite dungeon.
Yeah. But Ariana Floyd says, well, I just want to say hello. Now I have to go, so have a good night and happy St. Patrick's Day. Well, thanks for dropping in for a short time. Happy St. Patrick. I totally forgot it was St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone.
Same.
So, and Jason, you said you played the GameCube version as well?
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I played a little bit of it.
Okay. It was dude that informed me when we talked back when the GameCube launched. We were talking about, I think, on Achievement Chasers, because I didn't know this. I haven't played the GameCube version. But what I did know is because canonically, Link is left-handed in all the promotional art and stuff in all the games until Twilight Princess. And they switched him to right-handed for that game because you're actually using, although they didn't have to, because like I said, with the motion controls, it's not as precise as I thought it was going to be. But I was like, even before the game came out, that's going to be kind of weird when he's left-handed, but I'm holding the sword in the right hand. It totally would have worked. In this one, Skyward Sword, it probably would have been a little weird. But anyways, because of the motion controls, they switched him to right-handed because more people are right-handed than left-handed. However, in the GameCube game, they didn't just flip Link. What I learned from dude is they mirrored the entire world. So, if you were to turn right to go down a hallway in the Wii version, you would actually be turning left to go down a hallway in the GameCube version, which I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to be replaying the Wii version here very soon. So when I do get around to playing the GameCube version, I'll be able to see it for myself. But I did not know that until dude told me about it. So that's interesting. Instead of just flipping the character, they flipped the entire game world. So
yeah, I think the GameCube layout is actually the canon one because they have the Gerudo Desert in the west.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the fact that Link is left-handed in that one also makes sense on why that's the canon version. Even though, surprisingly, you would think, GameCube's an older system, though the GameCube version came first. No, even though they developed it for GameCube, the Twilight Princess for Wii launched first, and it was a launch title for the Wii, and then the GameCube version came out like a week later. So the Wii version has actually been around longer than the GameCube version. Funny enough.
They had to convince more people to buy it.
So, but dude says, luckily, the Twilight Princess HD has a hard mode, and the Ganondorf amiibo adds more damage on top of that. So if you really want the tough version, play the HD version. And that's another thing that's freaking annoying about amiibos is basically game altering content locked behind basically physical DLC. So, and then Twilight Princess on GameCube had Chivos for being the trial cavern on 3 hearts. That's right. I remember him telling me.
I did that.
That's That's
definitely the hardest part.
That definitely sounds like the hardest part. I don't remember playing that part back in the day. I probably did it, but I may not have. But I will definitely be doing that again because I'm sure there's going to be achievements for it on the Wii version. So I'll be doing that here soon, and I'll get to experience it myself, or either for the first time or maybe I'll get to it and be like, oh, I do remember doing this. So we shall see. So
yeah, that last room where you have to fight 3 Dark Nuts at the same time, it's a little insane.
Yeah,
It's like a Dark Souls boss, basically.
So, all right. Well, looks like that will do it for tonight's top 5. So, thank you, Lois, for joining us and making it so it's not just Jason and I on the panel. Appreciate it. So, but is there anything you got going on over on your channel you want to tell us about?
I'm still waiting on my PC case to come in. So there's that. I have all the parts for my new PC. I just need to wait for the case now because that got delayed.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
you messaged me about that yesterday, I think. It's like, that sucks.
Yeah. I'm going to probably try and see if I can find an alternative out there, but...
Oh, it was. I think you mentioned that in chat during Metrovania Monday last night.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
asking me about Satisfactory, and it's like, yeah, we'll definitely have to do some co-op once you get that up and running.
Yeah, I am dying to get back into that game. That's a big motivator for me getting my PC done as soon as possible. I'm just saying.
Good game.
And yeah, I mentioned it in chat there, but I was considering doing a little co-op session with Neo one of these days. We'll see how that works.
And
I've never played a co-op game on like PC from what I remember. So
yeah,
there will be a lot of boomerang and fumbling around and trying to figure things out. So,
and I was thinking, because I'm usually pretty busy with the evenings, but given you have a very weird work schedule, maybe we can work out something where we do it during the day rather than at night.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm definitely open to it. We'll have to talk more about it, but I'm definitely...
Like, whenever I'm on these top 5s, I have to go to bed early, basically. And then, yeah, whatever happens, happens. Like, I went to bed early today, woke up 2 hours later, couldn't fall back asleep. And then once I finally did fall back asleep, I sleep through my alarm. And then that's why I was late.
Well, you showed up just in time. We were still on our number 5, so
Yep.
Always great chatting games with you. So thanks for coming on and making it so it wasn't just Jason and I. Not that I would have any problem with that, but it's just more fun to have more people.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm glad we had an extra person.
Yep. So there is one more plan that I have. I just thought of this recently.
All right.
When I get to, if I can get to 2,000 subs on YouTube, I'm going to stream Sonic Adventure 2, and I'm going to 100% the game on stream.
Oh, and that's your favorite Sonic game, right?
It is.
Let's see here. And
but 100%ing it is
it's pretty tough.
It's yeah.
I'm assuming you've probably never done that before.
I have done it before.
Oh, you have.
Beating Sonic Adventure 2, if you just go through the story modes, probably take you around 5 hours ish. 5 to 10. It depends on how many times you die, obviously. But it's not very long. 100%ing the game will probably take you 10 times that amount. So, yeah.
And why exactly is that? What is involved when 100%ing the game?
So you have to beat every stage with an A rank, which means getting to the end under a certain time and with a certain number of points.
Okay.
And there's 5 missions on each stage. You have to get A rank on all of them. You have to do boss rush mode. You have to do a couple mini games. You have to do the Chow Garden, which is a massive time sink. And send your Chow through the race course over and over and over and over again to get all the medals. So that takes like hours upon hours by itself. What else is there? I think that's about it. But doing all that, it's probably from what I remember, it took me over 100 hours to do it.
Jeez. And what was that on platform-wise?
Originally released on Dreamcast and then was ported to GameCube.
Okay. Is that Sonic Adventure 2 Battle? Is that the same one?
That one.
Yeah. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle does have retro achievements. It's got 340 achievements. Jeez. And yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Interesting. It says this to beat I would assume that there's achievements in here for all the stuff that you're talking about since there's 340 of them, but it says beat the game, just beat the story is 8.5 hours, and then mastered. It only says 50 hours. I would think it'd be longer than that. But yeah, you could go play for retro achievements, and you get a lot of achievements knocked out at one time.
I suppose if you're like using a guide and you already know everything about the game, 50 hours is probably about right. But
Yeah,
for me back in the day, I wasn't using a guide or any help at all. I was just trying to figure things out. And
that's what I was
there's also
thinking.
searching for the hidden abilities. You have to find that on your own too. So there's like hidden abilities for each character in one stage.
So yeah, I was thinking that this is all the people that mastered are probably like people who are well versed in the game. So I was like, that time estimate seems probably pretty low for someone who's doesn't know this game well already.
Yeah.
So all right, well, that will be
I do
interesting.
have.
While
do
we're
have
on
some
that
more-
topic,
okay.
You said if you hit 2,000. You're currently at 1.39, so almost almost at 1,400. So got a ways to go, but hopefully we can get you there and make that happen. So
Yep. So I do have some more plans. Obviously, when I get my new PC all built, I'm going to be doing a bunch of stream testing and stuff like that. I also plan to stream Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure on Nightmare mode, either later this month or next month. So there's that.
okay. So, but yeah, as usual, everyone's links to their channels are in the stream description. But I did drop the link to Lois' channel in chat as well. So if you aren't subbed to him, go give him a sub and help get him to that 2,000 mark so he can play his favorite Sonic game ever. And torture himself with 100%.
Yeah. It'll be fun. No, actually, I have been itching to play that game again, though, because I recently played got all the endings in Shadow the Hedgehog on stream. Okay. So that was an experience.
Yeah, that's right. I remember I was going to ask you about that because I remember you saying that you got all the endings in some Sonic game, but I didn't remember which one it was. It was Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yep.
All right.
And then I also recently played Sonic X Shadow Generations and thought it was pretty mid.
Oh, was that the first time playing it?
Yeah.
That's also a bit of an older game too, right?
It's Sonic Generations is the re-release that I just mentioned came out last year, I think.
Oh, okay. That one is a newer game then. Okay. I thought it was an older one. All right.
But me and modern 3D Sonic do not get along.
Understandable. I feel like I was just going to ask you one other thing, but now I don't remember what it was. So, oh well. So,
one thing that was interesting about this top 5, though, I want to say nobody mentioned Mario Galaxy.
Oh, I was going to mention that earlier, and I there was like 3 times I was going to mention it, and then I forgot. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that it didn't get mentioned. Either of the Mario Galaxy games got mentioned at all. I mean, it's no surprise for me since I'm not a big Mario fan, but I'm surprised neither of you at least had it in your honorable mentions. I've heard that Mario Galaxy is really good.
Yeah, I'm more of a 2D Mario guy. Like Odyssey was the first 3D Mario game that I was like, okay, I really like this. But yeah.
I love 3D Mario, but Mario Galaxy is one of the most overrated games ever.
Okay.
Mario Galaxy 2 is not much better.
Well, I will be, since they are, I don't know if both of them are, but I'm pretty sure Galaxy 1 is set for the Wii rollout.
I love how Crazy Landlow shows up and says Mario Galaxy for the win as soon as I say that.
What's up, Crazy Landlow? Saying Wii Games, Mario Galaxy for the win, right as Lois is crapping on Galaxy. But yeah, so I will, not immediately, but I will be playing the Galaxy games for the first time for Retro Achievements somewhere in the near future, probably before the end of whatever the launch event is. So GameCube had a launch event that lasted 6 months. So they still haven't given us the details on the launch event. It might not be revealed until Thursday, but I will probably do both Mario Galaxy games before the end of that event would be my is what I'm going to try to plan on doing. But before that, I'm planning on doing Sunshine, which I've never done. So I've got a lot of Mario ahead of me in the future as well.
Yeah, I always say Mario Galaxy is my least favorite 3D Mario, but that's always because I forget that 3D Land exists on the 3DS.
Oh, that's a 3D Mario?
Yeah.
And that's not a fan of that one either.
It's on the 3DS.
If it wasn't on the 3DS, would it be a better game? Or would it be a good game, I should say?
Probably.
Okay.
Well, I only played it once. I played it through from start to finish in like 6 hours.
Okay.
And then that was it. I'm like, all right, I'm done. It was very unremarkable in pretty much every aspect other than like the 3D mode on the 3DS, because you actually kind of have to use it to see where you're going in some spots.
Okay.
It's very weird.
Yeah, that was one of the things, like, because I know later on they released the 2DS, which doesn't have the 3D feature. I'm like, are there any games that like causes you to not be able to play it because it relies on the 3D effect? I don't know. So it sounds like that one might be, might fit in that category maybe a little bit.
Yeah, people say that it's one of the games that requires the 3D. You can probably do it without it, but it's going to be harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Crazy Landlord says, yeah, then I heard overrated, and I'm like, that's definitely a take. I know the Galaxy games are widely loved, but I have not played them because I'm not big on Mario, but I will be playing them in the near future. So he says 3D World is pretty much 3D Land just on Wii U and Switch. So,
yeah, 3D World is awesome.
Okay.
I actually did play that on the Wii U. That game was really fun.
All right. So, well, as always, great talking video games with you, and always appreciate you coming on Top Fives with us. So,
yeah.
Jason, glad to be back on a stream with you because it's been way too long.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that you have planned on your channel that you want to let us know about? Nothing at the moment. Things are still kind of wild for you.
Yes, very wild right now.
So, all right. Well, while we're on that topic, we do have another top 5 scheduled for 2 weeks from today. It is not something that Jason has any knowledge.
Yeah, I was like, that's the 2 weeks, right? I was like, I think I know what it is.
So, do you think you're going to be there? Because you were for the last one.
I was. I don't know. Everything's kind of up in the air. I will, as soon as I know, I'll let you know.
All right. Well, if you missed this one,
right,
it's a topic that you're not versed in, so you're not missing much. But anyways, the next topic is another one that I'm a big fan of. And last fall we did after I finished rewatching my favorite TV show, Stargate. We did top 5 Stargate SG-1 episodes, and in 2 weeks we're doing top 5 Stargate Atlantis episodes. So I'm gonna get a group of Stargate enjoyers together, and we're gonna rank our top 5 personal Stargate Atlantis episodes. So Jason has not seen Stargate Atlantis, much less SG-1, so he wouldn't, even if he is on the panel, he will not have a list. So if there are any of you guys are out there are big Stargate fans and want to rank your top 5 favorite Stargate Atlantis episodes, let me know. Because I don't have the roster nailed down yet, so it is still up in the air. Oh no, go back. Where'd it go? All right. So as for me, last night I'm doing, every Monday I'm doing Metroidvania Monday, so I'm still in the middle of Mini Shoot Adventures, which I'm loving that game, and it was such a nice surprise that it shadow dropped onto Xbox and onto Game Pass while I was up in Canada snowboarding. So I got back and I'm like, that's my next Metroidvania Monday game. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm really close to the end, so I'm almost guaranteed that I'm going to finish the game this upcoming Monday. But Jason, you hopped into chat last week during Metroidvania Monday. So you've played it. Did you beat it as well?
No, I think it's been my cozy game if I'm not just dead from what I've been doing to fall asleep, I'll play a little bit of that. I think I'm on the third dungeon, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, I'm slowly making my way through. But it's been very fun. I got stuck at one part, and I felt like, because you say it's Metroidvania style, I'm like, this is more Zelda than Metroidvania in my opinion.
So I had only heard about it as a Metroidvania before I played it. Now that I'm most of the way through the game, I would absolutely agree. It's more Zelda than it is Metroidvania, but Zelda and Metroid have a lot of similar undertones and like mechanics. So that's why a lot of people are like, well, Zelda games or Metroidvania is like, no, that's a whole other aspect.
Yeah.
But I would say it does have the Metroidvania elements, but I would say it's more Zelda-like than it is Metroid-like. So I definitely agree with you there. So, so I had
said that in a video recently.
Oh, you said the same thing?
I said Zelda games are Metroidvanias. Sound off in the comments.
Oh, that's right. You did say that. And I replied in all caps, Zelda games are not Metroidvanias. I remember
you fell for the bait, Neo.
I know, but yeah, they're very similar, but they're not Metroidvanias. And I can tell you why, but we're not going to get into that right now. But that's right. So my two questions for you, Jason, in regards to this game is, one is, what are you playing it on?
Switch 2.
Switch 2. Okay. Didn't realize it was on Switch because I first discovered it fall of last year, maybe late summer, because I was enlightened because I didn't know that this was a thing on Steam. I should have figured it out, but I didn't know that you could search for games by genre, and you can basically check a box of all the genres and it'll give you all the games that fit all of those genres. And I was like, let's see if there's any twin stick Metroidvanias. And sure enough, there it was. I'm like, this is awesome. So I downloaded the demo and I played the demo on stream. I'd have to go back and check the date, but late last year, I was like, this is awesome. So I immediately put that at the top of my my Steam wish list because there was no news at all that it was going to be coming to Xbox. And like I said, when I was up in Canada, it shadow dropped onto Xbox with no forewarning, and it came to Game Pass. So that was awesome. So I was
there was forewarning that it shadow dropped, because if you watch the Nintendo Direct Indies version of it that day, it was on there and it says coming out today. It showed Switch and then it showed Xbox.
Well, on the Switch thing, but that was there was no news that it was coming to Xbox or Switch prior to that.
No, I was watching Indie Direct and I was like, oh, this looks awesome. This looks really cool. I'm like, knowing my luck, it's coming out today, and then it goes out later today. I'm like, son of a bitch.
So was that your first introduction? Was during that Nintendo Direct? Okay,
it was.
I knew about it, but I was just waiting for it to go on a steep enough sale. Unfortunately, I didn't pick it up, even though it has been on sale on Steam a couple times, but I still didn't pick it up. And then it came to Xbox and Game Pass. Like, sweet, now I can play it without having to buy it. But I do plan to buy it anyways. I do love this game. So that was my one question, is what you're playing on. You're playing on Switch. My other question, which you already answered, because you did mention in chat on my first mini shoot adventures stream, was that you got stuck at some point. So last night while I was on stream, I was like, when I'm on stream with Jason tomorrow for top 5, I'm gonna have to ask him where he got stuck, because I got stuck as well, and I was curious if it was the same spot, but it's not. I was stuck at a part after the third dungeon. But I figured it out. I got past it. It was because it was a really stupid design decision in the game, which I'll tell you about off stream, just so you're aware of it. And it doesn't spoil anything. But we were not stuck at the same point. So that was my other question. So, but anyways, I'm doing that mini shoot adventures for Metroidvania Monday, and I will very likely be finishing that up this upcoming Monday. However, that will be a later stream than normal, because I normally do it around 3 o'clock Pacific. It's going to be much later. It's going to be around 9:30, 10 o'clock Pacific. So have to do a much later one. But I will be continuing that. And then tomorrow night, because my other Wednesday streams is going on a bit of a hiatus, because my co-host says on that stream that I'm doing on his channel has been going through, he's got some rough stuff going on in life right now, so we're putting that on the back burner for now. So in the meantime, I've started doing another gaming stream, because I was like, I want to do some more gaming on stream. So I recently started Retro Rewind, where I play older games on stream. And so the first one I did was the Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 randomizer, which was a lot of fun. And then I played it again almost immediately off stream, because that was a lot of fun. I really liked that. And so the next game I started, and I only did one stream, and that was last Wednesday. So I'll be doing more of that tomorrow night, is A Link to the Past. So as I said, I've been doing a lot of Zeldas so that I can get all prepped for playing this again. Not necessarily on Thursday, but very, very soon, because I'm doing Metroid Prime 3 first. But But I'm going
You're
through a
playing
bunch
the
of
best Zelda.
installments. Now, that's Ocarina of Time. But
No, you're not. No.
This is only my second time ever playing Link to the Past. The first time I played it was probably 20 years ago. So it's almost like a first playthrough because it was very long ago and I've only played it once. And I do see a lot of the like what people say like Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past are basically the same game, just one is 2D and one is 3D. I totally understand that, but it is a good game, but I still think Ocarina of Time is better. But they are both great games, and I am enjoying my playthrough. So I'll be continuing more of A Link to the Past tomorrow night. And I'm hoping I can almost guarantee that I will not be beating it tomorrow night because I only just got to the Dark World. So I think there's still quite a ways to go. But I'm hoping that I can beat it. Ideally, I'll beat it next Wednesday's stream. But we'll see. And then this Thursday, as I mentioned, is the Wii launch on Retro Achievements, which I'm super excited about. And Thursday evening, Dude and I will be doing our next episode of Achievement Chasers for February. We usually like to do it at the beginning of the month, but I was out of town for the first week. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just push it back one more week so that we can do our Achievement Chasers on the day of the Wii launch so we can also talk about the Wii launch for Retro Achievements on our Achievement Chasers. So we'll be talking all about that on Achievement Chasers on Thursday night as well. So. But yeah, Crazy Lionel said, Lois, you gotta like Galaxy's music though. And Lois says, yes, the music is good. So I've heard the music in that game is great, but I haven't played it, so I don't know. But that is it for tonight's top 5. Great to be back, and I look forward. Things are kind of up in the air because we'll be doing another one in 2 weeks. We don't have anything else planned out for the next topics after that. So hopefully we'll still be able to keep it to the regular every other Tuesday, but that is kind of up in the air. But hopefully, even if we have to, change it, we'll figure it out because we like doing the show. So it may have to change when we're doing it, but we'll keep it going. So, yeah, Lois, Jason, great talking games with you. Everyone in chat, thanks for hanging out and listening to us give our top 5 Wii games. And if you want, you can go into my Discord. You can drop your top 5 lists. I'd be curious to hear what your guys' all lists are as well. So, but that will do it for tonight, everyone. Thank you all. Have a great night, and we will see you all later. And we'll talk to you next time. And as always, in the meantime, game on.